All right, welcome everyone to the after hurricane edition of Immortalized in Stone. So we'll see who joins in other than me and Mike because I don't know. I know Tim had just got his power back a few hours ago, so I don't know if he's going to make it on. And Fate, I know he's all right, but I don't know his situation with the power either. So we'll see. And anyone, if you're trying to get me and you can't get through, the cell towers are down here, some of them. So one of my companies is. So it's hard to get decent cell phone coverage right now. But other than that, it's okay. I've been able to get people through Facebook Messenger and shit. So, but other than that, I'll just give you an update. I made it through pretty well. Had a few, I guess you could say a couple of $100 in damage, but nothing major. It'll all be taken care of by the insurance. Just a few tears in my screen for the pool. So thankfully, nothing major. And a few tree branches had to be trimmed. But can't complain about that compared to some of the damage you've seen around here is really bad. We lucked out. We didn't lose power either. Had a few flickers on and off, but nothing major. But I did go when I surveyed by driving around. There were quite a few areas where gigantic trees had just taken out power lines. So thankfully, our power station's not too far away. So we were lucky. But other than that, everything pretty much made it through. I did find out, though, it was funny. My dad was over visiting, so we have a TV room upstairs, so he was watching TV in there, and then I was watching TV in my room, and I keep hearing like these loud sounds, like tree branches smacking up against the house and whatnot. But the funny part is the tree that's near my house is not that close. It's a couple of feet. So for the branches to actually hit up against near my window it's got to be pretty intense. Now, the winds were about 105, 110. However, at the next morning, I come outside and, all my neighbors were all outside seeing what happened. And she's like, "Oh, did you hear?" She goes, "Last night they heard this loud crash, and you could see one of the trees fell over here, but she by the lake." And she goes, "We went outside to see what was going on, and actually a tornado had set down right between their house and our house. And it was just spinning there, and it took the tree up, and then it slammed on the ground. But then luckily it went in the opposite direction of our houses, and we didn't get too much damage where we would have if the tornado actually came at us. So thankfully it turned the other way. But there were quite a few reports of the hurricane's winds churning up tornadoes. So it was crazy that one landed right between our houses because there's like this big open area where there's a lake for the most part. And it landed right between there. And there's a tree there. That's the tree that fell down. But luckily that tree wasn't near anyone's property. So, and the good thing here is it's newer construction. So they consider it hurricane proof. Or what I don't know about proof, but you know what I mean. It's better construction for hurricanes, and the windows are stronger. They can withstand like 200 miles an hour. So everything around here was pretty safe. All our power lines in this area are buried underground, so that helped a lot as well. So we did pretty good here, but there were areas that didn't do so well. So my prayers go out to anyone who did have a lot of damage. I know Miami got hit pretty hard. Naples got hit pretty hard, and Fort Myer. So those three areas I know really got hit. I know Tampa Bay got it, but it wasn't as bad as they thought it was going to be. So that's a good thing. Hopefully Fade's good because that's where he is. So we'll see when he gets back in touch with me. But I know he said he was safe, so that's the good thing. And that the collection was fine. So I'm pretty sure his house is fine. And Tim as well. He had no real damage, but Tim lost his power. So we'll see if he comes on, but I doubt it because I think he just got the power back. I was on the phone with him a little while ago. But so that's the news for that. Otherwise, most of the guys that live in Florida that I was in, I talked to during the storm. I think most of us are pretty good. We didn't really get any damage. Um, so hopefully that stays the case. But to better things. I happen to be searching through Facebook, because I like to do that before the show. And one of the things I've been hoping for a while, I see now. This is just a picture. I'm going to look up while me and Mike are talking if they have any more info about it on Sideshow's site. But I just saw this pop up, which is the Mark Brooks Spider-Verse collection. So I'm pretty excited about that. You can see Spider-Gwen and Silk, two of the characters I wanted to have made. So I'm hoping they're going to be quarter scale, or at the very least 1/5. But
you already know that. Yeah.
Yeah, but my guess is they're probably 1/5 because they kind of resemble the J. Scott Campbell kind of look to them. So we'll see. Maybe it's another line kind of like that, but this one's Mark Brooks' line. So, like I said, while we're talking, I'll do some more research and see if they have anything. But if anyone knows, feel free to comment, and I'll see what you said. Let me turn that on right now. That was the main thing that I've seen so far. I don't know. Maybe Mike's seen some other stuff. Let's see.
Yeah, crazy thing is, like I told you, man, these I just can't believe I went all the way to New York yesterday to pick up my my Bane, and somehow somebody screwed up at Royal Collectibles, and my Bane, by the time I got there, my Bane wasn't there. And they
That's
decided,
horrible though that you went all the way there too. Because it's not like before you lived in Queens, so it wouldn't have been too big of a deal. But now
no, but the funny thing is, that's not the first, second, or third time that's happened to me. That is nowhere near the third, fourth. There's not. I mean, it's happened to me a lot, and it's like sometimes I feel like I need to eat it. I'll say, nah, man, that's bullshit. If you paying, regardless of how you paying, whether it's cash, PayPal, credit card, or with merchandise, it doesn't matter. Business is business, and and even if people go by friendship and shit, you know all these people a lot longer than 90% of their customers now, and I have to agree. I eat it up because when it comes to dealing with them, I mean, I'm not a passive person at all, but for some reason, I wouldn't say I have a soft spot. I think like if I have a respect for somebody and stuff, I'm just a loyal person. And for some fucking retarded reason, sometimes I feel like I get kicked around by them. I don't even know why. I can't even sit here and I allow it. It just is what it is, man. And but at the end of the day, I'm not getting it today. I mean, I didn't get it yesterday, but the point of the matter is, I'm actually getting one. Supposedly, an individual, I'm not gonna mention names, said that he was overpaying and he's gonna pay extra for. Now they've done that before to where they screwed up things with people, and one thing I can say about the owner of Royal is, you know, Mike is a man of his word when it comes to taking care of stuff. Like sometimes things get messed up with other individuals, and sometimes he comes more out his pocket to take care of something. But I already knew that supposedly they were supposed to be getting more on the way from Sideshow anyway. And the funny thing about it is, just like most of my old Hot Toys and other stuff, I'm virtually always one of the first people to put my name on a list.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do a new book with list of who's getting what, with the Killer Croc, I think I was one of the first. I could have been the third, between the first and the fourth person for Killer Croc. If I'm not mistaken, I am the first, but it's somewhere between those four. But on the Bane, I'm the one that told him about it, and I was like, "Listen," and I was the first name down there. And when he opened a book, my name is right up, and they have me and another person as number one, and the person that's right under me in number one was scribbled off. Then it was like another 3 to 4 names, and the person that picked mine up wasn't even on that list. So I don't even understand how this person got my Bane, and I was really pissed the fuck off about it. But you know what? People are so used to thinking that every black man got an anger issue problem, and I do. But I didn't want to show it. And I was pretty the fuck up. I am still upset about that. Obviously, as me and you spoke about this before the show started. Agitated and upset about it. I'm very disappointed. And I may start doing business elsewhere just because of shit like this. And I guess it's getting to the point where maybe I'm just better off. Even though that's a bullet I don't really want to swallow. I mean, the only good merit to dealing with them directly, even though they can't stand my guts and they know who I am. Yeah, so even though they don't really like and they know who I am and they don't really like dealing with me, is the fact that I can get points with them. But I really don't like giving them direct money. I like dealing with other third party people where I don't really pay cash for a lot of this shit. A lot of this stuff I pay half cash or I do trade, which you don't do that with Sideshow. So I prefer to, go and get stuff out of storage units or get stuff extremely cheap from whatever, or from flea markets and whatever, and then bulk stuff up and get good money for stuff that they're gonna turn around and sell for decent prices anyway. Fuck upset, but I held my composure. It was one of those mistakes, but I know how they are in that shop. I even went as far as asked them and told them, I said, listen, I'm looking for a premium format Harley Quinn. And I told him before, supposedly somehow it wasn't realized that I asked for one, but I know I did. And I go in there yesterday and they had one up on their shelf and it says sold on it. And I'm like, oh, yo, I asked you for one of those, right? And he's like, oh, no, he doesn't recall it. And I'm like, this is bullshit. I'm sending myself like, this is fucking bullshit. Like, this is crazy. I asked him the last time. He said, oh, well, I can't make promises, and I don't know if it will ever happen because it's hard to get that piece. He gets the fucking piece in, and ironically, the same fucking guy who came to pick up some other shit, and he picked that statue up. So not only did I witness not me getting my fucking Bane, but yesterday was so fucked up for me that I had to witness a Harley Quinn that I asked for walk out the fucking door. So I'm like I'm standing upset with myself, like, Mike, why the fuck are you still standing here? Like, just fucking leave already.
Yeah,
I was like, yo, I was so pissed, dude. I'm still upset about it to this day. And even though he's gonna make good on it, the whole point of the matter is I had the stuff for it. So I'm not gonna say I wind up settling for these things. Isaiah, do that in favor. Excuse me a second, Lou. And everybody else on YouTube, give me 1 second. Go downstairs and get me the scissors. The right with a knife just fell off. Got it, boo. Thank you. So excuse me. So anyway, it's not like, I walked away with 2 statues yesterday. You know what I'm saying? And I'm happy about it because these 2 statues are, and of course, Fate and everybody gonna love that. It's fucking DC characters. You know what I'm saying? And I do have to, and fuck you too, Luke, because I know how you are with them shits. But yeah, man. But like I told you before, you know, I always wanted the Aquaman. I think I even spoke about Aquaman sometime around the time when Vic was alive, because I remember we had a debate. I remember we had a debate about that and Namor and shit like that. And I don't remember exactly, but I know it was somewhere to like relevance. And I was just like, okay, whatever. So, but the reason why I never picked it up was because at that time, you remember, I was getting rid of a lot of my statues. I got rid of everything, and then I restarted over again. And that's the reason why I didn't pick that one up, because I was very impressed, and I love that piece. I mean, and I like the regular look. I didn't like the one with the beard. I didn't like the one with the beard and all that other shit. So I wanted that one anyway, the one that I had. And of course, you remember when I went into World Collectibles and I was showing everybody just how shitty I thought Darkseid was, and a lot of people did agree with me. And I was like, damn, maybe I should pick up this Green Lantern. And I was gonna pick it up, and you know, as time progressed, I'm like, I kept procrastinating on it. But for some reason, I just knew that, you know what, I'm gonna get them for a deal. Maybe I'll pay more, maybe I won't. But I knew as soon as I get close to that fucking movie dropping, all them pieces gonna go. They're all gonna go like right. So I walked in there and he had both of them, and I'm like, okay. And I know right now you can get them for under retail. And again, and to Lou, one thing Lou and Rick always said: if you guys out and girls out there wait and pick your poison carefully, you will get shit for a good price. Don't be in a rush to try to beat everybody else to a video. Wait, and you shall receive, man. Everything, you know, good things come to those who wait. Just don't be in a fucking rush. And I've always been a prime example of that, because I've always said that too. But if yesterday wasn't a perfect example of me paying around $650,
that's not bad at all.
That is
especially for those two. That's under retail.
Yeah, for the Green Lantern and Aquaman. Come on, man, all day. And you know, I mean, it was good, you know. And like I said, you know, they do take care of me, but I'm talking like this past tense. I am still upset about the fact that I went there to pick up my fucking Bane. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Well, even the Harley would piss me off too, because that's, you know, a harder one to get because it's been out for a long time. And the fact that you asked for it and he didn't save the damn thing.
Exactly. So I got fucked twice. And then it's like I still have a couple of CGC books that are missing in action that I gave him over time, and he claims that he has no recollection. He gave me everything. You did not. Like
that's like his new. That seems like his new term. I have no recollection.
Like yeah, like that, and it's like it goes on a lot more than it should. Like, and then even this piece I picked. And if I didn't look through their fucking box, because they got so much CGC shit in boxes, that I had to look this up. And I'm like, wait a minute, like this book right here. This is the True Believers Wolverine versus Hulk 1. Remember, this came out like about 5 months ago. So this particular book, they had one on the shelf, and I was like, oh shit. So I brought the book, and I said, listen, I want it to be graded. No problem. It was a great copy. So he was like, all right, no problem. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is one of the fucking books. I'm like, yo, this is one of the goddamn books that I paid for, and you supposed to have graded. And he's like, you sure? He said, are you? I said, yeah. I said, come on, you think I'm gonna lie and get over you? I'm serious, man. So I put it back in the box, like, yo, don't forget you owe me one. So we let it pass. Then 30 minutes later, I'm like, listen, man, don't forget if you find this book. He said, you know what, just take it. And I was like, and I felt guilty about taking it because I knew I paid for it, and I paid for the fucking on this book.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt guilty of taking a book I knew that was rightfully. Yo, this shit is crazy. Dude. Sometimes it's just ridiculous. And I have conversations with flea market in Belmore on just how much they don't like dealing with shop. It's like they be getting a lot of bad backlash from a lot of people that used to shop there because of the way it's ran now, and the way people speak to people on the phone, and it's crazy, yo. And it's like, yo, like, you know, people gotta understand. People can always go somewhere else for comics.
That's right.
And stuff. You can't afford to lose one person, man. I don't give a fuck how big you think your bridges are. Every dollar adds an extra buck, man. And for them to be around for as long as they are,
especially when you're talking about somebody like yourself who goes there and spends a shit ton of money because you're buying these expensive statues and whatnot. Those are the kind of customers you really want to take care of. Not be like, oh, I don't recollect you asking for that. It's like, motherfucker, you should have a book where everything's written down that somebody asked for.
No, the fucked up thing about it is they do. They do have a book.
That's horrible, man.
Because
I know when I went in there, because Vic had told him to put a couple of pieces aside for me. Like, all he did was put those yellow sticky tags up with your name on it. And that shit can fall down.
The only time he goes in the book, and the only time they go in the book is if they go in the book if they go in the book if you doing a pre-order. I'm getting to the point now. I'm just gonna start. I never had. We never had to do any of that before. But now I'm getting to the point where I think I got to do that. And it's kind of fucked up because a lot of other people don't do that.
My old comic shop, which went out of business years ago, but he used to be good for that. You would go in there and just they have that book previews and whatnot. So you could look through that, and anything you wanted, he'd get for me, because I spent a lot of money in there, and I never had to put nothing down. I just paid for it when it came in.
Yeah,
but he was good about it, though. He never, if you ordered something, he never gave it to somebody else. He had you down for it.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. I never thought I had to deal with that. Like, I'm like, what the hell that's crazy. It's just crazy, man.
Yeah, it is.
And I know, fuck that. I am upset about it. I am really, really upset because he wanted that piece, and I just can't.
It boils down to you. I'm hoping you make it known to him that you're upset. Because the worst thing you could do is get screwed over by someone and then don't say nothing.
Well, you know what? I would, but sometimes people get upset and they can't. People can give constructive criticism, but they can't take it loose. And you know what?
Yeah, well, I'm not telling you to scream at him or not, but just be like, bro, it'd be nice if the next time I ask you for something, you don't forget about it.
Yeah, but now when I actually told him don't forget about another Batman or something like that, he was kind of a little upset about it. He's like, well, he was a little defensive about it, like more like, well, I don't think I'm gonna do this anymore. Like certain shit. I can't really recall word for word because when you upset, your mind, you say your judgment and your mind is clouded.
Oh, of course.
Can't remember exactly, but I am pissed off about it because I was just like, I got to the point I was about to say, you know what, this is bullshit. This is enough. I even felt like they actually had one in the basement for somebody else, and they just decided, fuck it. You know what? I'm gonna make right on this later. Because I really believe that they had one in the basement for somebody else, and they just decided not to give me that person.
I mean, and he takes for granted because let's face something. Now, I'm going to be honest. I've heard they can be dicks as well, but you could easily have just been like, okay, well, I'm in the city. I'm going to go stop at Midtown, and I'm sure they would have had the statue, and you would have been able to get it.
You want to hear something funny?
And then he would have lost out on his money.
And you want to hear the funny shit? And the thing is, it's been a long time since I've seen Robert in Midtown. And the funny thing is, I know Robert because he's a G.I. Joe fanatic too. What's up? Remember me? It's Mr. T. I probably got a discount on the fucking thing.
Probably, because I went there a couple of times when I was looking for a statue that nobody else had, but they had them. So
they do not, they will give you a discount in a heartbeat.
mhm. Yeah, I had no problem buying anything. Now I gotta say, I recently we've been getting a lot on Facebook, and the guys wanted me to bring it up, so I'm going to show some stuff that was at um, the game ST. Hold on, I don't want to say it wrong, but let me go back because the letters are so STGCC. There we go. I didn't want to screw that up. So it's the Singapore gaming and comic convention or something to that effect. So they had a lot of good stuff. XM showed on there. So let me share some of that stuff. So right here is their Carnage, which it's pretty cool. I like the building.
I do not like. I'm sorry, but I do not like XM Star Wars stuff. I just don't like it.
Well, this isn't Star Wars. This is Carnage.
Yeah, Carnage is nice, but the Star Wars stuff, I just feel like if you're gonna do realistic, if you're gonna do real life like type of then I just don't see. I mean, I don't see it sculpt. I mean, everything being sculpted. I think you should do fabric. I mean, I would prefer fabric.
Oh, right. Yeah, you like mixed media.
I mean, I like that. I like mixed media, period. But especially if you're going to be doing renditions of real life like people and likenesses, I don't understand why you would prefer to use full sculpted clothing for. I just don't think it look right. I think it's me personally. I think it's stupid.
Like, well, let's get through some of these and then we can get into that. But yeah, so Carnage looks pretty good. Again, I have the Carnage I like, so I don't need another Carnage. Weapon X is pretty damn badass. I don't need any more Wolverines, so I won't be getting it, but it does look good. I like the fact that it has multiple ways you could display it. So I thought that was pretty
cool. Yeah, but that yeah, you know another thing I think too. I really think. Obviously, I think it's more of wishful thinking than anything, but I really hope and think that XM are gonna start coming because look, they're getting so recognized now. I think they're gonna start being in the U.S. Man,
it would be nice. Here is their Winter Soldier, which I do like a lot. I gotta see this one and the Iron Studios together to decide which one I would get, but I do like them. The mask is okay. The hair is so-so. I like the outfit, the way he's holding the knife. The cybernetic arm's pretty cool. The base is good. So that one's a possibility. Although I'm, getting a lot of their stuff is hard. I do like the Spider-Gwen. I think the face is great. And the pose is pretty good. So I'm on the fence of which Spider-Gwen I'll get, whether it be this version or Sideshow's. I want to see all of Sideshow's pictures first. This is the Magneto, which I have no interest in. It's nice, but I think there's just way too much going on. He kind of gets lost in all of it. And Magneto on Throne is the only Magneto I'm concerned with, which thankfully I have. Oh. But it is nice.
All of us have that. Okay.
I know. But anyway, so that's my fault. But it is good. You saw in the background. Let me find some other pictures of it. They had the Phoenix. Let me stop just to see if I can find something. But there was a lot of really nice shit. I saw Doctor Octopus, which I do want to pick up. Here's a picture. That's a video. They did a Scorpion, who looks really well.
Yeah, that piece is nice. I might have to pull the gun on that one just because I am a huge Scorpion fan.
What's Storm came out very nice.
Yeah, I think her butt should have been slightly bigger though.
Yeah, well, because she's coming out of a tornado or whatever.
I mean, that's the one thing I hate about a lot of the collective, the statue people. I hate when they do that. I really hate when they do that. Like when they actually take renditions of pieces and they kind of. I mean, if you're gonna take a Spanish or a black female character, I don't expect you to have them look like how J Lo used to look, but at the same time, they should still have a little bit more. They should have a little bit more. You know, I think they should. I think a lot of them should be.
Meat on their bones. I don't know. Here's Beta
Well,
Ray.
I don't want them walking around. I don't want them walking around looking like Pinky from
No,
Pinky
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, but it should be a little just like Wonder Woman. Like that last Wonder Woman, the person somebody did. You see how nice she looked? Like she kind of reminds me of how China. China was. I mean, she had a Miss Piggy face, but she wasn't. What I'm saying. She was real muscular and big. She wasn't. I mean, her face was kind of choppy, but she had a decent body. She had nice legs, nice buttocks, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
WWF's China.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even though her face was chopped up and shit, but and she had a fake boobs and all, but she was she had sex appeal to her. And Wonder Woman, she's got that athletic build to her, but at the same time, you can see her muscles and everything, but how they made that one is how I think Sideshow should have made that Wonder Woman. Like they made her too slim, like a regular Caucasian chick in Starbucks. Man, a lot of these women they should have thickness to them. Especially somebody come on, man. Fucking Wonder Woman is a Greek woman. I mean, European women, especially Mediterranean women are thick. And Wonder Woman is Greek, so she should have size on her. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like what a lot of these companies do to a lot of these fucking figures. It's like you can't be having her look like some average chick off the damn street, man. Like
so here we got Beta Ray Bill. Pretty cool. Not a character I care too much about, but he did come out very well. There's another angle of it.
A lot of people don't like Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah, I don't know. Here's the Scorpion. This piece is really cool. I think that came out awesome. I mean, for anybody who loves the Spider-Verse, you're getting exactly what you asked for because they got a lot of stuff. Let me go to that Storm, which is right up here. Let's be. Oh, there we go. So there's Storm. Now it's cool. I think it's going to be a really big piece because you could see, the tornado goes up pretty high, her foot's pretty high on the top of it, and then she comes out of the top. So it's a possibility for me. I just don't know with the, it depends on how tall it is. But I do like it. I think they nailed the pose. I like how her hand is. The hair blowing looks pretty good. The cape. So I think they did a pretty good job of getting the wind in. You can see Quicksilver in the background.
Yeah. So, statue companies making some stuff.
Yeah, a lot of characters that I didn't think we would see. Which is nice. Let's see what else we got. That's the one thing I give, XM a lot of credit for too, is that they go out there and they take that risk of saying, all right, well, not everyone might care for this character. But, that's the thing. Sideshow could easily do it because, they're only talking about 1,000 pieces. You'll sell out 1,000 pieces, especially when you have the amount of fans that Sideshow does. So they could pull out some of the lesser known characters and just not have huge amounts on them.
Yeah. I would just really love to see Sideshow just start upping their game a lot, man. Just
honestly, I wish they would sell XM stuff.
I think they might. It's gonna get to the point where it just make they're gonna do that. They're gonna do that because it's gonna get to the point where. But then again, you know what? You never know too because XM is popular, but it seems like for some reason they're not as.
Well, the price point is, in my opinion, it's the price point because if you could get them in the U.S., so let's just say Sideshow said, okay, we're going to sell them. Now, if you could get that piece for what a Sideshow piece costs, $500 or $600, you may do it. People don't want to spend $1,000 for it. That's the difference. So if you could get it in the U.S., shipped to you for like $50 instead of $200 or $300 that it costs to ship it from Singapore, now you're talking. I would buy a lot more if they weren't $1,000 a pop. You know what I'm saying? I only get the ones I really love because by the time the shipping's gone way up. Like I think Electro cost me US about $240 shipping or something. So I mean, it gets up there in the shipping department. That's ridiculous. But
right,
if they were sold here in the US, they would do a lot better. But I guess it's relative in a way because if you think about it from the other collectors' side of point of view, the guys in Australia, the guys in Britain and whatnot, and these other countries, they're paying a lot more for this Sideshow stuff than we do because they have to pay the import tax and the shipping overseas. And so, I mean, I get it. So if it's only one company for us, I can't really complain too much. That's why I don't really complain. I just buy the must-haves, in my opinion, and the rest, I'm like, whatever. Like for me, I had to get, Doc Ock was a must. Electro, I was a big fan of, so he was a must. The Magneto, Cable, the Black Widow, Phoenix, those were all musts. There's maybe a couple other characters I would get if they ever did, but I'm not going to go crazy with them because they're just too expensive here. If you're only collecting 20, 30 pieces and that's what your collection's going to be, then yeah, cool. It doesn't matter if you pay a lot of money for them. But when you have hundreds of pieces, you can't. It just doesn't make sense to spend that kind of dough. And that's why I said, like I did, that if Sideshow's Silk and Spider-Gwen come out nice, I'll get it from them because I know I'm going to pay half the amount. So in the long run, it's, the better way to go. depending on how good it looks. So we'll see how it works out.
Yep.
The only thing that I thought was weird is when you look at the Weapon X, and then you look at their new Wolverine. So they're both coming out of the capsule that says Weapon X on it. And to me, that's retarded because Wolverine would never come out of the Weapon X thing dressed in his Wolverine costume. So that was a little strange to me.
That's because they're pulling off something Sideshow and other companies would do.
Yeah, to save a little bit of money.
They get to the point they're like, fuck it, we're XM. People gonna buy it because we're XM. They know the the Weapon X one is gonna sell out, so they figure, fuck it, this will be our way of trying to force people to just fuck it, we're XM, so we're gonna charge a lot of money for this, and they figure they'll get away with it, just like everybody's bitching and moaning about the Thanos, but at the same time, everybody bitching and moaning about how crazy the price is. They're all still going out there and already pre-ordered the fucking thing. Me, I don't give a fuck how nice I like a piece. I'm not giving nobody no fucking $1,200 or something for no retail. Nah, I'm not doing it. I mean, to each his own. Knock yourself out. Do backflips. I'm like, hey, if you can do it, and if you have the rationalization of doing it, more power to you. I'm never a hater.
Well, that's it. It comes down to, what I've said for a long time, and you brought up earlier with the wait for stuff. Because, when this dude Magneto was going for $3,500, there was no way I was paying that kind of money. But I got him for a good price. When this dude was going for 4Gs, got him for a fuck ton less than that. I got it for an awesome price. So it's just a matter of having the patience. I like the Ghost Rider. Well, I pay $2,500, no way in hell. But I don't need it that bad. But you know what? Eventually it may come across at a good price, and I might say, you know what, fuck it, let me get it. But that's how it comes to me with collecting. I'm not. I'm in no rush. There's no piece other than Doom. Doom, and I waited for him. Doom was that one piece when I started collecting. I said, I don't care what it takes. That piece is going to be in my collection. It was always the main one I wanted. But other than him, for the most part, there's never been a piece that I said, oh, I can't live without that in my collection. Most of these grails, as we call them, that I got, they were a long time coming, bro. I waited and waited until a price or a deal came along with a trade or something where I was able to pick them up. Miss Marvel over here, she goes for about $1,500.
Like the point you're illustrating. That's something that it built up. This shit, it generated and built up to get to these prices.
Yeah.
Now these motherfuckers, oh, fuck it. Let's just charge. These idiots are going out there and spend this money. Let the fucking idiots, let these idiots pay. Let them go out there and pay top dollar. They're gonna buy it anyway. Everybody, and then the thing is, like, a lot of people don't want to admit it. But up here, a lot of people want to grab shit real quick just to be some of the first people to do a video. And it's like, you shouldn't just go out there and buy shit just on the merit that, hey, you know what? I want to be one of the first people to do a video on it. And then all of a sudden, you're talking about how the piece is okay here and okay there, and you rationalize the reasons for you buying it.
And then they're selling. Then
you're selling the fucking thing, and then you help somebody else waste their money because they have a lot of respect for what you do and what you say. Now all of a sudden everybody's losing. It's I get so, that's why I just get so like disgusted, bro, with with the shit, man. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh my god, what's with these? I'm like, I don't know, Lou.
And now
I don't know. Maybe it's just
you you got hundreds of things coming up left and right from custom work, and then
Exactly.
I don't know. Like, see, here's the thing for me when it comes to that, because people ask me to talk on it, what my thoughts
Yep.
on custom. Customs is something, if I see it, and I absolutely love the pose, I love the piece like I did with the Bane that I got the custom one, or my Supergirl. That's the only way I buy a custom. I got to see it, and it's got to blow me away. Because from a collecting standpoint, uh, if you want something to hold its value, which I'm not going to get into the debate. I know we got into like the big argument when Omar brought this up, but you want your stuff to retain value. There's no point in owning something that's worthless. So if you're going to have something and you get it because your other people are getting it and you don't want to feel left out, that's not the way to collect for me. I think that you get on these hype trains and you think something's awesome, and then it's not it's not registered, it's not recognized by the company, it's not a legitimate piece. It's just something somebody made, and it's technically selling it illegally because it's unlicensed. Sometimes the quality is not as good. There's other times it is, if not better. But you're taking a big chance because you could turn around years later and be like, oh man, what did I buy this for? And now you can't sell it for shit because nobody wants an unlicensed piece. So I've seen that happen a lot. There were a few that I really wanted back in the day when they first came out, especially Street Fighter ones, and they were going for big bucks when they first came out because everyone's like, oh, they're never going to make this piece, so let's get it. And they were going for upwards of $1,000 or more dollars. And I said, no, I'm going to wait. I want them, but I'm going to bide my time. And I did. And sure enough, I got them for great prices, basically cost. And you could see it even now. There's a piece that I found that I was debating on that was going for in the G range. It's now for cost. So a lot of the customs lose their value quickly just because people don't give a shit about them once something else comes out. Now I'm not saying that's going to happen with all of them. This is just my opinion because I was asked.
Plus, they're basically the same thing about it doing. They're remaking a lot of their pieces over again and better now.
Yeah, but that's not what I mean. I'm talking about customs, like people who go out and make a custom with 25 pieces or whatnot. But it's a good idea if it's a piece that's never going to be made. So let's just say, I'll just say Jubilee, a character I like that not many people like. So you probably wouldn't see a licensed version of her in the big scale. So then I could say, yeah, all right, go for it with a custom. But for a piece like, let's say, a Wolverine, there's going to be 1 million licensed Wolverines. It's not worth, in my opinion, paying the extra money to get an unlicensed one that you don't know how the quality is going to be. And again, just my opinion, I've seen a lot of people get burnt on customs. I've also seen a lot of people super happy with them. So I say if you're going to order them, just do your research. That's the best way I can put it, because you want to know you're getting something quality. Because even John will tell you when he saw some of my customs, you can have a custom that was painted by someone who really knows what they're doing, and that thing pops. It really looks good. Like if somebody like you painted it, You're going to do shadowing the correct way. You're going to make that thing look vibrant and alive, and then it's going to be awesome. Now, somebody else might just take car paints, spray it one color green if we're doing the Hulk or something, and call it a day. Now, that's going to look like garbage next to a Hulk that, let's say, was painted with multiple tones of green, giving you that shading, which builds definition, and then the different colors on the beams and all this stuff that's going to really make that piece pop. So a good painter, a lot of times, can make or break a piece, and that's where you got to kind of be careful with who paints the customs. Because like I said, I've had beautiful ones that are still in my collection to this day. And then I've had not so awesome ones, which I've sold. Thankfully, I didn't take a loss on them. But I have seen people take a loss.
I've heard that a lot about, like, you know, some customs are just really, they're not made good at all. Like, the paint is very glunky, and it looks like somebody gave a child a crayon. Like, you know, from distance, everything looks nice, but then when you get up on it, the paint looks like it was rushed. Yeah, I used to hear a lot of nightmares, especially back in my Hot Toys days. I used to, a friend of mine named Q the Island Boy. The one that really talked me into getting into statues from Hot Toys. And we met I think through eBay. And then we was I think through eBay or through Facebook. I forgot how the conversation started, and then he met me up at my my old apartment. What the fuck is that? In Bedford-Stuyvesant.
Mm-hmm.
Cool cat. You know, we just became mad cool friends, and brought the King Leonidas off of me, and I gave it to him for a steal, and that was back when even back then when King Leonidas was like a $300-$400 piece.
Yeah,
I gave it to him for I think like $20 to like $50 more than what I paid for it, and I paid $135 for it, so he got it for a steal, and we just became mad cool, and he's the one that got me to statues. A friend of his, he used to buy them, and he was telling him how he used to just tell me how shitty a lot of the custom work was done, and I was just like, what? He's like, yeah, that shit was just trash. Really, really trash. Just crazy.
Yeah, now I wanted to give a shout out to two guys that really got something cool for them. So let me get the first. I'll get them up here so I don't butcher their names. First, let me go into Sideshow because I know the one guy is on Sideshow. See if I can find what I'm looking for. Is it going to be here? Or are they going to make me go into my email to find it? This is what happens when you don't say it when it's on your mind.
Yeah, I be butchering people's names all day. You know, my appreciation.
This dude, I believe is Greek, so it's a long name, and I don't want to say it wrong.
Yeah.
I wish I could.
The way, the pronunciation.
Maybe under blog. Let's try. But yeah, there it is. All right, so the first congrats I want to say is to Frank Vasilopoulos. Hopefully I didn't butcher your name. But he's been a long time viewer of the show, and I've talked to him on occasion. And he has a really great collection, and he was featured as this week's collector on Sideshow. So you can check out his collection on there. So that was really cool. So congrats for that, brother. And the other one is Warren Resin, and his Magneto won an award at the Jersey Fest show. So I wanted to give him props for that. I'm going to pull up, see if I can pull up a picture of it for everyone.
And he's from where?
He's from Jersey.
Jersey guy?
Yeah, he was
Jersey guy like you, huh?
No, not anymore. I ain't from Jersey.
He's a Jersey guy, just like Lou.
There he is, I think.
It was funny. I was in the supermarket the other day, and a guy was talking, and his lady was like, "Oh, where you from?" And I was like, "Oh, me?" She said, "Yeah." I was like, "I'm from New York." Well, I said, "Oh, you got an accent." I said, "Accent." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm from New York, but I bought a house out here." And this one guy was like, "Oh, you a Jersey man now?" I said, "Listen, man, I would never be a Jersey guy. I'm from, listen, no disrespect in the area, the half the fucking store turned. It's like everybody was like part of They Live from Roddy Piper movie.
Yeah, I know.
Trying to look at me when I said that.
I came here to chew bubble gum.
Everybody, I was like, "What the?"
And kick ass, and I'm all out of bubble gum. But
one lady was like, "What that supposed to mean?" I said, "No, I don't mean no disrespect about it. It's just kind of, I'm not from Jersey." I said, "I might live here now, but I'm just not from Jersey. I don't mean no disrespect."
So here he is with his Magneto, which came out really cool. I think the way he did the effect of the magnetism shield coming up is really cool. It's got light up. Crazy. Yeah, it's got light up features, all kinds of custom work in it. The base is actually milled metal, so it's very heavy and it's really nicely done. You could see the Jersey Fest award there. So props to him. He's a longtime friend of mine. So congratulations, dude. I think that was really cool, and the piece is really badass. Whoever ends up owning it, it's really awesome custom. So shout out to both of those guys for a pretty cool achievement. Let's see if anyone else. Yeah, I definitely can't wait to see how they come out as well. Terrell, I think there's a good quality. If they do them as good as the J. Scott Campbell pieces, it's going to be badass. I didn't order Nightmare Batman. It's not my style of piece. I doubt Mike did either, but it is a cool beast. Okay, so Storm is going to be 26 inches. Ryan let me know he had ordered one. So, I'll think it over. That's not too bad. I think you could fit the middle Besta cube, the way I do it, I'll hold the piece up to 27 inches. So that will fit. So we'll see. I got to pick and choose, obviously, because you guys can see there's not too many available spots left until I get.
Who's doing that? Who's doing that Storm again?
What?
Storm again? That Storm?
XM.
You heard me? No, I said who's doing this Storm piece?
XM.
See, that's the reason why I don't really want to mess with XM stuff because I can't afford it. Like I was lucky to get that Hulk at Comic Con 2 years ago, and I don't have anybody I don't have no hookups to where I can get them. So
you know what it is though, I don't really care for Sideshow's version of Storm. I don't think it came out that great. I do like this version. I think they did a better job with it. Not to say Sideshows is horrible or nothing. It is decent. I don't know the cape. I don't like the way they did her cape at all. And I think that she definitely and her hands weren't that great. Now I saw people who added lightning bolt effects to her hands, which made it look better. But the way they had it posed, it was like an open palm like this. And I'm like, that's not really though showing her power too well. Whereas this one, she's kind of out like this, as if she's casting lightning at you or sending some kind of weather at you. So it works for me better. And I like the fact of the base, she's coming out of this tornado, which is another one of her powers. So it really shows off her power, I think, whereas Sideshows didn't at all. It was just she's standing on a hillside. I'm like, I don't know. Yes, I did see Vince Val's custom Storm, and it is awesome. He did, like I said, though, he added special effects to it. So, I love his work. He's, someone I've been talking to about getting some custom work done. So he's just pretty book solid right now, but we're working on it. I'm not going to bring it up until it's in the works for sure. But if it comes out, it's going to be a badass piece. It just happened to be an extra Sideshow piece I had. I was looking for a certain character, and I looked at it and I said, this statue could work for that character. And, I hit him up and I said, well, what do you think? And he said, yeah, we could do it with that piece. He would just have to do some work to it, because he changes, arm angles, and he could change body part sizes, whatever he needs to fit the piece, change outfit. He even gets, what I think's really cool about his work as well is, depending on the piece and if you ask for it, he'll actually get fabric and make a fabric piece if you wanted to go with your mixed media stuff. So that's another cool thing that he offers, because he knows people who work with the fabric. So hopefully, if all goes well, I have a really cool design in mind, and we'll see what we can work out. Other than that, like I said, I'm being a bit more picky just because I'm running out of room. So I'm only going to get pieces that really are characters I really want in my collection. Now, for instance, one thing that was really cool today for me anyway, yes, I do love how the Black Lantern Wonder Woman came out. I almost did buy it. It was that cool. But I wanted to save the money to get this custom piece done, so I passed. But it was up for sale. And it did come out beautiful. I really like the way it was situated on the base, the way the hair came out. His work's impeccable. He did a custom Phoenix bust that was done out of an Emma Frost bust, which I own the Emma Frost. It's gorgeous. But his Phoenix one was amazing, and I wish I was able to have gotten that at the time, because that would look great with my Phoenix collection. But right there, you could see the Punisher. I was in the store, and they were getting set up for Halloween and whatnot. And they had a Halloween section, and then they had a section of superheroes stuff. in Walmart, and they had a great price on the movies. So I was able to find the Punisher 3-pack, which had the original Dolph Lundgren Punisher movie, which it was cheesy, but I like it. I've been looking for it for a while. And you got all three of them for $10. So I was happy I was able to find that. I'm going to watch that after the show because I haven't seen that in a long time. But I think that's going to be pretty cool. I was happy to find that. The one thing, though, I don't see too much, like, there's a lot of Stephen King movies. I'm a huge fan of his. And finding certain ones is like pulling teeth. Because here I don't have, at least I haven't found one yet, an FYE or something where you could go buy used movies when you exactly want them. Because, yeah, obviously I could order them online, but then I got to wait for that shit to come to me. And a lot of times if a movie gets into my head and I'm like, yeah, I really want to watch that, I want to watch it immediately. So that's what usually happens. But, you know, we'll see. But I was happy to find that. Yeah, he was decent. The only thing I didn't like in his version of the Punisher wasn't him. It was actually the way the villain was done. I think Jigsaw, or whatever his name is, I think it's Jigsaw. If I'm saying the wrong thing, you'll know what I mean. They made it look too Dick Tracy-ish. If you remember the villains in Dick Tracy, they were so over the head done or whatever. The way they made their faces look fake and whatnot. And I like realism. So I think when they made the villain his face kind of killed the movie for me because I'm like, man, this looks like a doll face or something instead of a human being with a scarred up face. So that was my only problem. Otherwise, I did like the Punisher Warzone, I think it was called. Yeah. Movie. I just didn't care for the villain. Otherwise, I thought it was pretty true to the comics and how he was in the Warzone comics. I like the new guy. Yes, exactly. He looked like a 90s style villain. And when the movie came out, the special effects were way too good for that look, in my opinion. So that was my only problem with him. But he was a good Punisher, Ray Stevenson, especially for that version of the Punisher. I did like Thomas Jane's portrayal of the Punisher, and it had a good story. I mean, I like how it was done. I thought it was pretty good. It was a little over the top, but it was pretty good. I really enjoyed that one. I like them all pretty much, to be honest with you. There's a few comic book movies here and there that I don't know. You know, you'll watch them and I'll be like, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking when they made this, but you know, some things don't age well is the best way to put them. Like, don't get me wrong, I can watch the old Supergirl. I do own it, but you can't compare that to the effects you get in today's Supergirl show. I think it just blows it out of the water. The old like Flash card of show and the old Captain America. Oh my God, some of those were god awful. But you know, today you look at the new stuff and it's really good. Iron Studios Wolverine vs. Juggernaut. Let me look that one up. I think I've seen it, but not close enough to give you an opinion. So let me look it up. With all that's gone on around here in the past week, statues weren't the main concern. So I didn't see everything that came out. Oh, here it is. Let's see. That's a beast of a piece. That I like. All right, let me put it out. It's a big piece, though. I could see. I wish he was on today. I think this is a piece that Tim would like. So let's share it. Yeah, so there it is. That is a big piece. The Juggernaut. Yeah, Juggernaut's pretty massive. It's in good scale with Wolverine being much smaller. I like the idea of him smashing, like, it looks like a bar counter or something. And, Wolverine.
So Wolverine is big. Look how big the Wolverine is next to that dude. The Wolverine alone is the fucking Juggernaut is almost the size of that guy.
I think that's more perspective, but yeah, it is a big piece. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna guess the Juggernaut is probably in the 30 to 35-inch range, which is really big.
Closer to 40. Wolverine has got to be 22, 27. Because if you look at Wolverine's elbow to that right under that guy's jaw, and then look at his feet right near that guy's abdomen area, it's big.
Let me give you another perspective. Here's another angle of it.
That shit is huge, man.
Shit. Yeah, if anybody knows the exact measurements, let us know. But it's definitely a big piece. Here it is. Diorama. 1/6 scale diorama.
1/6 scale.
Yeah, so we could be a little off, but that's really big for 1/6.
There ain't no way on God's green earth that damn thing is 1/6, man. I'm sorry. I can't agree. That if that shit was standing next to that today, wow. Fucking midget or something. That shit is huge.
It's by Sideshow. You can order it. You can order it there. So maybe let's just see if I can find the specs on Sideshow site, unless somebody gave them to us. It went up for pre-order today. A 1/10 scale Iron Studios Juggernaut would look nice in quarter scale. Yeah, I know the one you mean. All right, let's check it out. $750 plus shipping, apparently. So let's type it in. Juggernaut. See what comes up here. There it is. Let's see if it gives the prices. Juggernaut versus Hulk would be sick. All right, this is the preview. So that's here we go. Click here. Now available for order. So yeah, $749.99.
How much?
$749.99.
What's Wolverine?
It is. Oh, it's a lot smaller than we thought. So it's 17 3/4. 17.32 inches high, 18.11 inches wide, 14.17 inches long.
Wow.
So yeah, it just looked bigger next to that guy. But that's pretty cool. I mean, that I could definitely see Tim buying this. Now, I was all ready to order if it was quarter scale. I ain't paying $750 for 1/6 scale, especially since my collection is
well
quarter.
for that for Wolverine versus Juggernaut. I would.
I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad.
I'm
not saying it's bad because when you think of Hulk went for about the same versus Wolverine, but for me, 1/6 doesn't do it. I'm not a 1/6 collector.
Dude, have you seen? Like, remember the Wolverine versus Hulk is considered 1/6.
Yeah, well, no, wasn't that 1/5?
It's Nah, I think they 1/6. I don't think they 1/5. I think they 1/6.
I could have sworn Hulk versus Wolverine was 1/5. But I mean, don't get me wrong. It's nice. I think it definitely is up Tim's alley, especially the size. He does collect stuff that size. So I really just want a 1/4 scale Juggernaut. I mean, I take a 1/5 because he is a beast, so it still would be big at 1/5, but I don't want to go smaller than that. And I'm not really a collector of versus pieces or dios. So the only dio I really loved and would have considered buying was the Hulk versus Spider-Man. I always liked that one.
You know, so funny. Roy Collectibles got that shit right now. But if I told you the price, you would. If I told you the price, you would curse me out.
For what?
I seen it there yesterday.
Oh, that piece I just mentioned.
Dude. Huh?
The piece I just mentioned. What happened?
$3,500.
Oh, you could kiss my ass. I would not pay that for any statue. Unless it was life size, and even then.
You would, Lou.
No, I would not. I don't like it that much. So yeah, that's what's going on. A lot of good stuff. If this week for any collectors, they've announced a lot of shit. I'm waiting to see what's going on with Angela. I know some people have gotten their shipping notice. Now mine was one that went through at the very end, so it might take longer. And I'm in no rush. So, but I heard she's starting to be billed. So that's probably my next piece. And then I believe after her, I only have 2 more pieces left on pre-order, which are Thanos and the 1/3 scale Red Hood from Prime 1. So we're getting there. Definitely waiting for an Ivy in 1/3 scale. That'll probably be the last 3rd scale piece I get. And then it'll just be, hey, if I see something cool, I'll go for it. Otherwise, there's nothing left I really want to buy. So I'm sure, one of the other collectors said in one of the groups, it's never really an itch you get rid of. If you're a collector, you're a collector. And you might see something a few years from now that blows you away. But that's cool. That's how I like it. If something really calls to me and I'm like, I'm going to get that, that's cool because it's not like I'm buying 10 pieces a week. Whereas in the beginning, you kind of, you go nuts. You buy a lot of shit. But I've sold a few, did a few trades. You get to the point eventually where you know what you want and what you're willing to move to get what you want. And when you finally got everything you really want in your collection. So that's where we're getting. I am thinking of, commissioning a piece. We'll see if I get a lot of interest. I haven't I'm working on the pose and everything, but you guys, anyone who knows me knows I'm a big fan of statues with the wings. Like I love Angel, my Phoenix. I want to get the Falcon, and I really like the movie version of the Vulture. So I'm thinking of having one of those commissioned. Uh, it'll have a switch out head with a Michael Keaton, unmasked, and also the masked version. Preferably with a light up feature for the eyes.
I'm a huge Michael.
Yeah, and I told the people I'm talking to, if I do it, it has to look like him. No ifs, ands, or buts. If you can't sculpt the face, don't bother, because it's got to look exactly like Michael Keaton. I hate when you get a movie statue and they butcher the face, because it's an actor. It's a face everyone should know. So if it's not spot on, it just ruins it for me. So that was a must. It had to have a good
Yeah, you want shit.
Yo.
What's up, bro?
Yo.
What up, bros? Everything good with you guys?
Yeah, I'm good.
Shit. Nobody's on today, huh?
No, I think what happened is a lot of the guys either don't have power or are just getting it back. Like I know I was saying before, Tim just got his back an hour or so ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't think he was going to be able to make it. And then Fate, I'm not sure if he has power yet. I know everyone's okay. I just don't know if they have power.
Good to hear. I'm glad everybody's good. How you living, Lou? Everything?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good.
So I was just telling them how I may commission a Michael Keaton Vulture.
Where?
Yeah, I really like that character. I think the way they made the wings and the fans and the armor is just badass. Mm-hmm. So
nice.
I'm thinking of having it done. He would be in a pose where he's like coming down to land.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working on the pose and everything. So once the stuff is in the works, I'll let everyone know. And if I get enough people interested, I'll go through with it.
No doubt, man.
But it's definitely, I seen one in a smaller scale that I really liked, and I was like, man, if they did that quarter scale, it would be off the hook. Well, like I said, there's certain characters that I just love the movie versions better, and he falls in that category. Mm-hmm. Only because, like, the Vulture in the comics, he didn't really stand out to me as a cool person because he was like this old wrinkly dude. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't know, that doesn't seem all that scary to me. And a villain, I think, needs to be scary. But the way that he handled that character in the movie, even when he wasn't in Vulture costume, he made you freak out. Like, for anyone, no spoilers, but that scene in the car,
I know.
I was like, yo, man.
One of the best scenes in the MCU, man. It was awesome.
That his performance is the redeeming factor for that movie.
Yeah.
Because I didn't care for it all that much except his character.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was too kiddie. Like the whole high school crap. And now don't get me wrong. I know Peter Parker's in school.
Mhm.
The point is, the other characters kind of suck. Flash, horrible.
Mhm.
You know, the main love squeeze, horrible. The
Yeah.
way they made Mary Jane, horrible. I'm like, I don't understand what they were thinking. Spider-Man himself is okay. He's a little annoying, but you could deal with that because he is supposed to be a kid. But the rest of them, I was like, oh man, really? This is supposed to be Flash? The
Yeah.
guy that people were scared of? He was a bully?
Indian
This guy just does a doofus. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah. I hear you.
But you know, so other than Michael Keaton's performance, and that whole thing that just killed me too was the suit being like an Iron Man suit kind of.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I was like, get the fuck out of here with this crap.
Yeah. It took a little bit of adjusting and a little bit of time for me to get like used to that whole concept.
But like I said, I could deal with Spider-Man, but Vulture was what made the movie, and the rest of the cast, they could go jump off a ship or something for all I care.
Where,
But we'll see. Maybe the second one will be better. I guess
what villain you think is going to be in the second movie?
I think we may see more of the Sinister Six. I'm pretty sure we're going to see Scorpion, because they did throw some hints.
Yeah,
Scorpion.
at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. He's always been like a cool villain.
Yeah, I was telling Mike, I think XM did a good job on the Scorpion statue.
Did you guys go all over all those statues?
Yeah, we were going. No, I don't know about all of them, but we went over a lot. I mean, if there's any offhand that you could think of.
What's your top three?
Definitely, I'll definitely be ordering Dr. Octopus.
Okay.
I gotta see, I was saying, with the Spider-Gwen, because I do love their Spider-Gwen, but I know Sideshow's doing one now.
Right.
So depending on how much better it is determines, because I know the Sideshow one will probably be in the 500 range.
Mm-hmm.
And then theirs is probably going to be 1,000. So it's like, do I like it $500 more? That's going to be the real question.
Yeah, I think the Sideshow one's gonna be 1/5 though.
Yeah, well, I said that since the J. Scott Campbell line was 1/5, that I thought it probably would be. But it depends, because I don't mind. I know this may sound weird, but I don't mind the females being 1/5, because usually they are smaller than the male counterpart. So you could fit them in with a 1/4 and a 1/5 scale piece. But if it's a dude who's supposed to be tall and he's 5th scale and he ends up shorter than a 1/4 scale piece, then that totally throws off the whole scalage.
Yeah.
But again, we'll see. It depends how big, because I've seen big 1/5 scales that come out pretty good. Now, do I love Gwen Stacy, the J. Scott Campbell one, and I like the Mary Jane. So I have the Black Cat's cool, but I have that, but I don't think it was as good as the other two. But I don't mind if it looks like those, so we'll see. But I am interested in those. But for XM, I would say, yeah, Doc Ock, I'll say Spider-Gwen for now, and who would be the third? Probably Scorpion, I would say.
Yeah.
Why would it yours?
Let me just share my screen, I guess. You guys put them up on the screen? Like pictures?
I showed a bunch of them. I don't think I showed everything.
Yeah,
because
Scorpion. Yeah, I hear you. It was a lot of pictures, man. A lot of shit to cover. So
mm,
Stop
Scorpion,
cursing, man.
like, it looks really good, man.
yeah, so I got the confirmation. It will be 1/5, the Mark Brooks line.
Yeah, the only gripe I have with this Scorpion, man, like it's literally perfect. Like, it looks so good, but what I don't like is that he's like looking down, you know what I mean? Like you need to put him on the top shelf to really like
Mhm.
fully,
I
you know what I mean?
agree with that. It needs to be on the top shelf.
It's like the same thing with their Black Panther or even let me see
Hmm.
this Sideshow.
Yeah, it's one of those things like those are the perfect pieces to put on the bottom because of
Mhm.
their height, because they're crouched over,
Yeah.
and you wouldn't miss the top of their head. However, because like you said, they're looking down, it
Hmm.
defeats that whole purpose.
See, like this is such a great statue, but the only thing that I hate about it, man, is that he's looking down, you know?
Hmm.
I don't know, man. But
I
aside from
agree
that,
with you. I
yeah.
hate pieces that aren't looking straight on.
But like aside from that, honestly, like they knocked it out the park. I think this is probably one of my favorite ones from the Spidey line. Um, I wouldn't put this as my top three though. Like for San Diego, not San Diego, Singapore Comic Con.
Mhm.
My top three, I would say, is this shorty right here,
Yeah, I
Poison
do
Ivy.
like that. I'm just not a fan of the Japanese line they're doing with that, but that is a beautiful piece. I did like it.
Yeah, man, they went to town with this shit, man. Oh my God, whoever sculpted this, man, they did a great job.
Yeah, and they nailed that geisha look to a T. So.
Hmm. Like, I feel like you don't even need to have like a Japanese theme. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
you could just have her just like this, and it would be just as nice. But so it would be Poison Ivy, and I'm talking about Singapore Comic Con as a whole. So it would be this. Did you see Morgan from HMO?
Mhm. Yes,
Yes.
beautiful piece. The one piece I also liked, which I didn't show, is the I don't want to kill her name, but the chick, she's like a samurai. I have her statue, but I have the Bowen size version.
Mhm.
She's got the two swords, the spear. I believe she's from Image Comics.
Magdalena or some shit.
Magdalena, thank you.
Oh, okay.
That's it. Yeah, I forgot to mention her. She's one of my favorites. I have the 160, a gigantic piece because it has a diorama with the whole background. I haven't taken it out and put it on display yet, but
Yeah.
I would probably order her as well. And I think she'd be able to be ordered in the U.S.
This shorty right
because
here.
let me click on your picture so I can see it. Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's gonna be like a worldwide license?
I would think because it's not a Marvel or DC piece.
Right, right.
Kind of like Witchblade and Darkness
Yeah.
you could get in the US. So that one I may pick up because I am a big fan of the character.
Mhm. Yeah, this was another one of my. I think this would complete my top three. Starscream from
I
SM.
like how that looks like the Starscream I grew up with.
Yeah, man, it's badass and it's huge, yo. Oh my God.
Yeah, that I do not like Prime One Starscream at all, but that one is really cool.
Yeah, they killed it with this.
Like if I had the G1 uh, Optimus and Megatron, I would definitely get that.
Yeah, man. What's it called? I,
I talked about Storm.
yeah, Storm. That's a nice Storm, man. I
Mm.
think that female portrait is really nice, and the overall concept, like,
I think I was saying that they really nailed her powers well.
yeah, for sure. It's a real good pose for Storm. The exclusive head where she's like looking up with that crazy psychotic
Mhm.
smile. I don't know how I feel about that though.
Yeah, no, that's the one I like right there. Uh,
This you already know I like this. I'm not a fan of the character, but like in regards to the statue, like its museum pose, It's
Mm.
base is simple. You see the entire character. You can see all the details in the suit. I love that. If
Yeah,
you love Spider-Gwen,
I'm probably gonna end up ordering it because she
yeah,
is a character I like a lot. So,
yeah, man. If you're a Spider-Gwen fan, I think this is. I mean, to my tastes, like this is probably the perfect Spider-Gwen statue. You know what I mean?
mm.
That's cool. She's not in a crazy action pose. She's kind of just chilling with her
And
headphones
I
in.
do like the other head as well, the unmasked.
Yeah, that one's nice. Um, and then this, man, I don't know, yo. This
Yeah,
might be,
the wings on that look really good too. I've seen them.
oh, man, this might be my first female statue, yo. I don't know yet. It's gonna
Yeah,
take some thinking.
HMO is getting better with each piece.
Yeah, they're doing their thing, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
the paint on this was literally flawless. There's, I think, like glass eyes too.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
it's
that,
huge. Do I have any more pictures of that thing? Yeah, here we go. Skin tone. I mean, if they could pull this skin tone off in production,
mm-hmm.
bruh, that's gonna be just insane. And the sculptor, man, like, see, what they did with the base from one angle looks like a skull, and then if you turn
Yeah,
it around, it just looks like rocks, broken
yeah,
rubble. I think that's like genius. That's thinking outside the box, man. We need
for
that in the
sure.
hobby, you know. Um, and then this thing, man, I seen a lot of people hating on it, because they want like movie accurate shit. But I dig this a lot, man. Like I'm not even a Predator fan. I don't think I've even watched an entire movie, but this looks awesome.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's a cool piece, but like you, I'm not a huge fan of the movie.
Yeah, it's huge, man. One
Like
third.
Aliens, I absolutely love everything,
Mhm.
all the movies, but like Predator, I can never get into that much.
Yeah. What else did they have? Oh, then they had the diorama, the Dark Side, Justice League diorama. I think that might be available
Yeah,
worldwide,
I
man.
saw that, but I'm not spending that kind of money.
Yeah, it might be available worldwide, and from what I'm hearing on the forums, for their worldwide licenses, they have like US um warehouses, so you might be able to save a good amount of money on shipping.
That's
I don't know.
cool.
That's like I said, that's all speculation. Don't take my word
Yeah.
for that. This is all stuff I'm reading on the forum from randoms, you know. Um, but I mean, it's a sick concept,
Mhm.
Probably gonna cost an arm and a leg, but cool
That's
nonetheless. The only thing I wish, man, is that Green Lantern. I wish he had like some
yeah,
sort of
that
machine
whole
gun or
thing with
something.
the saw. I don't.
Yeah, I would have liked to see like a big ass machine gun or something.
Yeah, something like that. I agree.
Yeah, that would have been cool. What else do I have here? I think that was. Oh, okay.
Somebody
Then
was brought up. What is it? Archangel fighting Wolverine
mhm,
in Extension Agenda or something.
let me see. Yeah,
Uh,
man. But I'm just thankful, man, that there wasn't really anything besides Morgan that really I was like, oh shit, I need to get that. Like every time I could go through an event and I don't see anything that I need, it's the biggest like sense of relief, bro. Because I could focus on what I have, finish paying off my pre-orders. I don't got to add another food
I
to the
hear
plate.
you. Like I was telling Mike, I'm close to finishing off mine. So it's
Yeah,
one of those things where then you could be like, okay, well, this piece is cool and I don't have nothing else pre-ordered. So hey, yeah, let me get it. You
yeah.
know, trying to see. I got the official their website on,
Mhm.
so I'm trying to see if I see anything we left out.
Let me see. I'm gonna just give a quick shout out real quick. Something. If you guys, any of you guys are into 1/6, there's this 1/6 cable being made. Um, I mean, it's dope, but it might not see the light. I think there's a couple more spots that need to be filled for the pre-order to get the project on the ball and running. So I mean,
Mhm.
if you're a fan of 1/6 and you dig the sculpt, hit up Kevin Venkia on Facebook and get in touch with him about getting it.
And the one thing I gotta say is, for all the people who really like the Bowen one, which is a great depiction of him,
Hmm.
this piece is that good, if not better.
Yeah, man,
So if you really like it, I suggest picking it up.
it's badass and it's fucking huge, bro. Let me see if there was a picture here. Absolutely huge. Um, Let me see if I could get a better picture of this right here. Like that's the XM Wolverine.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like that's huge. The Sentinel head is just as big as the one on
Exactly.
XM's. But yeah, hit
It
up
almost
Kevin
looks.
McKee.
It almost looks like it could fit in with the quarter scale.
Yeah, man, it's a big piece, even taller than this XM Wolverine. It's nuts.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, man, it was an exciting time looking at all these pictures come through from everybody that went to Singapore. It's cool stuff. Yeah, Terrell Reed. I saw that review from Darth Chris. That thing is awesome, man. I think that's the video I watched before I pulled the trigger on getting that cable. Actually, a lot of my pieces I bought after watching Darth Chris DK reviews on YouTube. All his videos are like real
Oh
high
yeah, I
quality.
used to watch his stuff all the time.
Yeah, that's what I do, man. Before I get any pieces, like I just
Well,
try
I
my best.
always did that too in the beginning, like
Yeah.
before I got knowledge, and even today, if
Mhm.
I'm on the fence about something, I'll look up a review or two because I want to get multiple opinions on a piece.
Yeah,
Because
for
one
sure.
guy could tell you, "Oh, this is the best piece in the world," and
Hmm.
another one tells you it's a piece of crap. So I
Yeah.
want to hear multiple reviews and get an idea.
Yeah, man. I'm the same way. It's and sometimes like I'll just ask I'll ask around for people that have it like yo, what do you think about this? I even hit up Christian, Darth Chris DK, just asking, yo, can you take a picture next to this piece or how does it look like this? And he's been stand up enough to send me those shots that I asked for, and I mean it helped me make my decision. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I've had people ask me, how much space does this take? Can you measure it? Will it fit in a Besta? Can you put something next to it? And yeah, I'll try to help them out as well.
Or oh man, I would love to like start like YouTube reviews and stuff on statues. Cause I do like editing videos, but man, I just don't have the fucking time for that shit.
Tell me about it, bro. I have two. I've already started and I haven't finished them. All I have to do is edit them, but I just haven't had the time with the storm.
Hmm.
That's what killed me because I want to work on them, but then I've been having to deal with all this shit. So hopefully, I know Tim might come over on Saturday,
Okay.
so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, man, you guys should do some collabs. It would be good for your channels.
Yeah, definitely. Now that we live so close.
Yeah. So what up, Mike? How's everything with you, man?
I'm all right, brother. I can't complain.
Yeah, any new pickups? You been to the thrift shop lately?
Nah, no thrift shops lately, but I did get fucked over by my local comic shop.
What happened?
They sort of had got me. They sort of had gave me my. I was under the impression I was speaking to one of the workers a couple days ago, and Bane. Basically, last week, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
I knew the Bane was in, and instead of them calling me to let me know that my Bane was in, Some genius decided to just say fuck it, and somehow I was looked over, and my Bane got sold to some lucky asshole.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, I guess they felt they're doing the right thing by just saying fuck it, we're gonna get you one. But I was a little upset because I went there yesterday to do some trades and business.
Right.
I got fucked over, and I was actually looking. I was looking to go pick up my piece. No shit. I was looking to go pick my piece up, and I had to deal with, oh, sorry, and it's not the first, second, third, or fourth time. No, well, I know it's not the second or third time that's happened, and I'm pretty pissed off about it, man.
This is
I'm really
not any
upset.
place in Jersey, right? This is Royal Collectibles or whatever.
Yeah. With my
Oh, okay.
guys in Royal, I'm upset. Normally I would let this shit slide. I wouldn't say nothing, but I am pretty pissed the fuck off about it.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I would be too. It's a great piece to just let it slip out, between your fingers like that off of some
Yeah,
stupidness.
and
Sucks.
again, they figure by, hey, fuck it, we're gonna get you one. That's not the point. The whole point of the matter is, I went across the Hudson fucking River, getting a piece that's supposed to be mine, and I was the first fucking person on the list. And some of the guys that the owner is cool with,
Yeah.
he got his piece, and some other guys got their piece. Fucker, and I didn't get mine, and I'm extremely upset about that.
Yeah,
So
man.
I may
I
just
feel
start
you.
dealing with other places or something. I'm like, I'm so beyond it because it's like, I just, sometimes the shit they do and how they think, it just doesn't make any fucking sense, man.
Yeah, it's
It's
grimy.
like, I don't care if it's one of your employees' fault or not. The whole point of the matter is that's the reason why you guys put people's names on it. And then on top of that, I asked for Harley Quinn a minute ago. I said, listen, if you guys come across another Harley Quinn PF, let me know. All right, Mike, if one comes in, I'll let you know. That might be a long shot. What happened? I walk in there and they got a Harley Quinn with the fucking tag still sitting on the shelf that said sold. And the guy came in, and as the guy came in the door, they're like, "Oh, by the way, did you get your we don't got you down for a Bane, right?" And he's walking by. "Oh, no, I already got mine." And they're like, "Okay, cool." And I'm just standing there like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me!" And I'm looking at my name in the book right across from me, and I'm like, "This makes no fucking sense. How the hell they got this fucking, everybody got this shit?" And I'm looking at my name, and my name's the first fucking name on there. Like, come on, dude. Like, that shit is like the shit they do. And this is the reason why they, Royal Collectibles leave a nasty taste, and a lot of people don't like dealing with them no more.
Yeah.
Over the years, a lot of people don't like dealing with the owner Chuck. A lot of guys say he's an obnoxious pig. They can't stand him. That's the reason why a lot of people don't go into the second store. A lot of people don't like dealing with the people that work for Mike at Royal, because they said, the girls there seem like they, quote unquote, always on a period. From what I hear from a lot of, that still leaves a nasty taste in a lot of people's mouths. The last couple of years or so, and it's only getting worse. And I think that really contributes to why they get more locals buying from them than a lot of new people.
Yeah.
Which is kind of fucked up, considering that I'm always bigging them up, and I'm like, yo, like, I'm like, this shit is crazy. Like, I'm so beyond myself right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, man. You always, I mean, you give them the limelight when you're on the show, and I mean, you don't do that to
Yeah,
lower customers, regardless. You know what I mean? If somebody's
yeah,
coming to
especially,
your shop,
and it's like, I'm
yeah,
not these other guys. Like, dude, I've been with you motherfuckers. Like, come on, man. Like, I've been with y'all for over 20 fucking something years, bro. Like, I was the first motherfucker to sell them. I was not even. I was the first person to get them involved in fucking action figures. This is when they was just strictly comics and sport cards. They didn't even have sport memorabilia. It was just sport cards and comic books. This was when Mike was in fucking junior high. Dude, that's how far back I go. And it's like, shit they doing is like, I feel like it's like, man, I don't even know anymore. I'm so pissed the fuck off, bro. I don't even know. I'm just like what the fuck, bro? Like, Like, yo, I was like, you don't even want to know. I mean, dude, it took every ounce of my body not to curse and get real pissed the fuck, because it wouldn't have did me no good. And all it did was just show them that I was upset. And it's like, sometimes I think people just do shit and they don't like me. Like some of the people only dealt me because I'm real. I mean, I'm a real close friend with Chuck, and everybody know I have a decent rapport with Mike. So I think that's the reason why some of his family deal with me. But I'm like, come on, man. Me to not one fucking, what the hell is that?
But it's not just you. It's not just you,
They never invited me to none of their events. Never actually go to one of their events. 10 or so years longer than I knew Lev and Toy Tokyo. Lev and Toy Tokyo, hey Lev, got you. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, really? Like, you got all these new people coming in just to do shows, and it's like, I'm like, yo, man, it's like, it's just a lot of shit with them, man. A lot of shit.
I hear you,
it's
man.
not just you, because I remember Vic was getting fed up with him too.
Oh yeah. Vic was telling me some stories. And it's like sometimes it's like, he got it's like you got a clique that you deal with. I could respect that, but your clique's not the only person that put money in your pocket and shit. You gotta take care of people, man, and do it for everybody or don't do it for nobody. And especially when you got somebody who basically put you on and said, listen, I need this, hey, I want my name. Then you just automatically put me the first fucking person in the book, and then on top of that, they still got some of my CGC books that I can't remember which ones they were because I trust the shop, and now I got a couple of books that are still missing, and he's like, he don't know where they are, and he think he gave me everything, and I know you didn't give me everything.
Yeah.
But it's like, I figure after all these years, I trust you enough to, we don't have to do this, and it's like, okay, well, fuck, it's just stupid, man. I'm to the point now. Is like I'm just gonna start getting to the point and just shit, or just putting everything on eBay in bulk lots, and just start dealing with Sideshow, maybe somebody else, because I don't like buying from Sideshow directly because giving them my money, because I'm not really happy with the shit they do and the way they treat customers. Me personally. I mean, I love the company, and I love Hot Toys and Sideshow. I think they're great companies that you got. I'm not gonna say you get better bang for your buck, because evidently you don't. But they are decent when it comes to a lot of shit. But a lot of other shit, they just really slack on a lot of stuff, and I don't really appreciate a lot of shit they do. But other than that, man, I guess I'm okay. Other than the fact that I'm teep the fuck off about that situation. And I really wasn't gonna say nothing on the show about it, but
hey, that's what it's for.
Because it's like, that's fucked up. Like I'm not the third or the fifth dude. The first motherfucker on a list, and fuck it, somebody made a mistake. And it's like, and then on top of that, your employee would not just sit there and sell a piece, whether somebody name on it is not, knowing that that piece is high in demand. And I just feel like he took the L on that for the shop, to save the shop face. That's what I personally think. Because it's like, why would you sit there and allow that? And it's not the first, second, or third time that's happened. Over years, this should have happened more than enough. Bro, it doesn't matter if you're going to give me another one or not. I went there to get that fucking piece, man. But at the end of the day, Chris, I did get the Aquaman. That's a piece I was going to get from the gate before I started getting rid of all my statues and decided to get them again. And, of course, the Green Lantern I kept telling everybody about before everybody started buying it, when I was talking about how I didn't like the Dark Side. If you remember that from, like, months ago.
You were saying how...
I did get both of those pieces yesterday, and he did give me a real good deal on those pieces. And, like, I get good deals, and Mike takes care of me in Royal. I'm not gonna sit here and say he don't, but that's still inexcusable for a lot of shit that goes on, and it's like, it's just not right, man.
Nah, I feel your frustration, man. If you loyal to somebody, man, and you know what I mean, like you feel like you do your part, then you know shit small like that, it shouldn't be no fuck ups or
Well,
not for somebody like that, man. Not for somebody
plus
that's
when
loyal
they're
to you.
super psyched to get a piece, and you go there and they're like, "Oh, we don't have it."
Yeah.
No, speaking of that, what if I told y'all that, you know how many times, even back in my Hot Toy days when I was Mike Son 007, when I had that controversial channel, right? Do you know how many people, I mean, even though it was a lot of drama going on, I had so much respect in the 1/6 scale community. Many people that used to call these guys up to try to get deals and trades and shit with them. And they would, and some people would pick up the phones and they would be totally disrespectful to them. And then they will say shit like, "Oh, well, please tell me you're not going to be as aggressive as Mike when it comes to these hot toys." And it's like people like, "Yo, like, why you bigging these guys up?" And it's people on the phone with a total stranger, and they basically, in a way, knocking you down. I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, like, you know, you bigging them up and trying to bring them business, and you got people, you know, people saying, 'Oh, don't be a pain in the ass like him,' and all." I'm like, "Yo, like," and then I hear shit from other people at not only convention. I can't even say it. Conventions, but then also at flea markets that I went to and go to, and I hear it all the time. "Oh, I don't like this one. I don't like that person," and I just laugh because they're like, "Oh, you know, like I'm laughing," and they're like, "So what's so funny?" I said, "Oh, nah, it's just an inside joke." But then, and I keep hearing this every fucking way I go, and I'm like, wow. And this is why at times they don't buy as much as they used to, because people go elsewhere now, and they just say, "Fuck it, I might go get directly from Sideshow. Why deal with you?" You're getting mad because Sideshow's not sending you everything that you want. Then by the time they send it to you, because everybody already got it, because they go elsewhere, and it's like, why be loyal to you when you're sitting here and you're giving me attitude? And it's like, you know, and it's like, you can't have this little clique where you want to be nice to certain people, but then you want to sit here and kick around other individuals because they're not that known or they don't have that. You know, that's not the fucking matter. The only thing that you should know is keeping your doors open and plastic or paper. That's the only thing you should really give a fuck about. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. And it's like, and it's the reason why they're going through a lot of hard times at times. Because people don't understand how quick, I mean, the word of mouth is like a cancer, bro. That word of mouth shit can help you or hurt you. And I want to stop talking about it, because the more I talk about it, I'm just gonna start saying shit that I ain't gonna be able to take back. So
all of a sudden he starts throwing shit into that.
I'm getting real pissed the fuck off about it. So
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, dude, you're gonna get your bang. Don't even sweat it, man. Yeah, I've seen so much bullshit like within the
yeah, I'm
community.
gonna get it, but the whole point of the matter is, if I do go back to you, I should go back to you because I choose to, or choose to do a deal. I shouldn't have to be
Yeah,
forced to go back to pick up other pieces because of a mistake that you guys made. What's the point of putting people's name in a fucking book and knowing that I'm the first person, and you give your boy Ramon and other fucking people pieces, and then it's like, "Oh, well, you know, oh fuck, I'm sorry, we got rid of your piece," but then you got motherfucking pieces up there that, you know, people leave you $20 on, and there's like a $700 piece, and all of a sudden it says sold on it. But then every time I say, "Oh, put a piece aside," "Oh, I wasn't told this," or "Nobody told me that." But then if I call you 2 or 3 times in a week, you get frustrated. You know, it's like I said, I'm just gonna start dealing with other places. I'm sooner or later I'm gonna stop dealing with them at all. You know, I'm just gonna stop dealing with
yeah.
this
I
shit.
mean, at that
Fucking
point, man, I think that's like because I'm telling you, man, like I've seen so much bullshit. Like the best option, honestly, man, if it's repetitive, keeps happening, just move on. You know, put
yeah.
yourself in a different circle, different
It's just
environment.
that it's hard when you've been dealing with people before you were met, before you even met your mate and
Yeah,
had kids. You know what I'm saying? It's
nah,
like I've
no
been dealing with
doubt. I
young,
hear that.
yeah,
No
you
doubt.
know, and it's like I feel like the cousin that gets bullied and kicked around a lot. Because like I said, I was the first person to sell the store. I'm the one that got them into toys. To be honest, I'm the
Yeah.
fucking first one to get. I mean, you guys used to buy shit from me. That's how you got into this, and then I introduced them to people that were selling collections. So at the end of the day, I grew a great rapport with the original owners, with Charlie Senior and Charlie Junior, which is Chuck. When Chuck, when Charlie, Chuck, and his mom Marie used to run the shop. When Mike used to walk in there as a kid with his pop, playing Magic cards. So that's how far I go back with you. And it's like, if I don't fuck Ramon and everybody else, if you're gonna deal with one person, if it's one person you should treat extremely well, it's this motherfucker sitting right here. Because like you just said, and everybody else, I'm always bigging up this company and always defending them with a lot of shit that I know they do wrong. And it's like, I'm like, come on, man, enough's enough, man. Enough's enough. And I feel like I feel better saying it up here. Because if I would have said that, yes, you know how it is. Sometimes people can't deal with constructive criticism. If I would have said how I felt yesterday, he'll probably be on some other shit. You know what I'm saying? Which is kind of fucked up too, because at the end of the day, you can't expect me not to be disappointed and upset when this happened over and over again. Like, dude, I had to remind him for this book. Like I showed Lou earlier. My this True Believers Hulk, Wolverine versus Hulk #1. Like this book. I paid for this book and I paid for the grading. And the reason I paid up front for this and said make sure you mail it was because I already had the mishaps with the other CGC books that are missing. Mm-hmm. Yesterday I was like, well, Mike, don't forget you owe me this. And he was like, well, I don't remember. I said, dude, you owe me this book. You owe me one. I said, listen, when you get another one, let me know. So 30 minutes later, I looked back in the pile and I said, Mike, don't forget that. He said, Mike, you know what? Just take it. Don't worry about it. And I felt guilty and bad about taking this book. That's the kind of person I am. I felt guilty about taking something I know I paid for. And it's like, come on, man. Like, this shit is petty and crazy, man. You can't run a business like that, man. It doesn't, we cool. And it's like, I think in a way they look at me like I'm family. So it's like, fuck it. He's the cousin. He can, I understand it. It's more of the fact that I'm more like the family that everybody kicks around versus the friends that they have a real good business and rapport with. And it's like, you don't treat, I don't give a fuck about family or I'm the person who live under the damn stairs. At the end of the day, treat me good, man. Because at the end of the day, I bring you business and I hook you up with shit. And you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Let's move on, man. I do like the Aquaman and the Green Lantern now having them in person. Mm-hmm. In my collection personally, and all day I've been sitting at my table with the turntable, just looking at them, looking at them. I'm like, okay, like nice. I am liking them though.
Good, man. Congrats.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. I don't know what. I can't wait for your ass to get your place so you can start.
Yeah, man. I don't think anybody wants it more than I do.
I can imagine that.
Yeah.
It's tough when you buy shit and you can't even enjoy it because you got all your shit in boxes.
Yeah. I don't know. It gives me time to kind of plan everything out though, because I'm on Facebook almost every day, man, and I just see like collection after collection, and you don't understand, like, if you see that mock-up that I made, like, let me see.
Please tell me you open them and check them.
If I what?
That you open and check the statues?
Oh, of course, bro.
All right.
If anybody that knows me, all my pieces are mint. Like,
because that would be the worst. You're like, yeah, you put them all aside, and then when you go to open them,
yeah, like this was just some shit that I made up, of how it would look. But all like these kind of different aspects are all different ideas from certain collections. Like I've seen people buy custom acrylic cases and put them on top of the bestas like this. I've seen, people put one bust on one side, one bust on the other. I've seen somebody have this this nice brick wall that they bought from like Home Depot, and I took that idea. The gray walls. I saw somebody with a collection that had gray walls, and I was like, "Oh shit, that looks hot."
That's a cool Loki, by the way.
Yeah, and just like I take ideas from everybody, man.
Got this dark colors contrast. It makes your room stuffier. It makes your area stuffier. So you gotta keep that in mind too.
Yeah. But I try to take ideas from everything. So it sucks having everything in boxes, but the patience and the time that I have to just think about what I really want, Yo,
Yeah.
everybody has such great collections, man. I could take a little bit from here, a little bit from there, and hopefully one day my collection will be, just as nice.
Yes, sir.
This fucking dude gonna have an apartment on the river and shit, right under the River Nile Bridge and shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that reminds me of the scene in the movie with Tom Cruise when the aliens came and they blow up the bridge. What the fuck was that called?
Fuck. World of Worlds?
Yeah, thank you. War of the Worlds. Yeah. That scene was insane.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but I hear what you were saying. I always thought about doing that for these guys up top, putting the acrylic cases.
Yeah.
I'm still debating on it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, man, my setup, I don't want anything like out in the open. I want everything. I'm gonna try it, you know what I mean? And
You don't
honestly,
have to worry about dusting them. That's the good.
I'm not gonna display any of my shit unless it's behind some sort of glass or some sort of door. It won't come out the box. It might take me months, it might take me another year, it might take me 2 years. But once I have all my glass, all my cabinets, then I'll bring everything out. You know what I mean?
It's those people that go, this looks so cool. That kill you.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see myself having like a lot of people over. I'm not that kind of guy.
Don't touch my shit.
Yeah, I go to work, I come home. I'm a loner, you know what I mean? It's me and my girl, but it's pretty much it. And family, because I really don't have too many friends on Staten Island.
That's why I put a lock on the door. When I have people over, especially if there's kids, that door gets locked.
Yeah. But just a lot of time to think. And it's cool just being happy through others, you know what I mean? Like seeing other people post. That's what it's about.
The Joker thing behind you is pretty cool, kid.
Which one?
That's on top of the tube.
On top of the tube?
Right behind your head. There's a Joker picture.
Oh, I commissioned that piece. That's a custom piece. If I bring that shit. It's from this.
Are those ones you want to put in a frame you were telling us about?
This was actually a custom commission that my boy Reno drew up for me. This guy's honestly, he's a monster, man. I don't know if he's still up for commissions now, but check that shit out. Can you?
Yeah, that thing's bad.
That's like the Joker from the animated series. I told him I wanted him to put an animated series twist on his own style. He did a bunch of them for me, man. He like killed every single one of them. I commissioned the Thanos, Batman, Joker, Bane. I commissioned. I wish I could buy the statue, man, but I can't get into too many lines. He did this Batman for me.
Nice.
Yeah, he's talented, man. He did Doctor Doom for me too. That came out pretty dope. Let me see if I.
Yeah, because you were saying something about doing like a player one line or something. That looks cool.
Yeah, he's a really good artist, man. It's a shame like he stopped doing a lot of his work because it wasn't really paying the bills. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
But this guy was grinding for so long, just really like doing what he loves, yo. He'd be on the grind every day, drawing. You know what I mean? And he didn't get the love he deserved. And I tried to give him as much business as I could. He's a fellow Puerto Rican from Brooklyn. You already know how I feel about that. So I was trying to show my brother love, but not everybody was feeling that way, I guess. So he had to stop for a little bit.
Yeah, art's one of those things where you got to know how to like market yourself if you're going to make a killing in it, and it's a hard business.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know a few people who are really good at it and tried.
Yeah.
But like you said, to do it as your only source of income is kind of tough.
Yeah, it was rough for him, man.
But you got to do like conventions a lot, and you got to
Yeah.
make your originals, but then have copies made. And, you
Yeah,
know,
that's where I met him. I met him at last year at New York Comic Con. I stopped by his booth and I saw his prints. I was like, oh shit, those are hot. And I told him like, yeah, man, I was telling him for like 2 or 3 minutes, and I was like, nah, I'm not, I'm not gonna cop anything today. Maybe next year, or if you got a business card. He was like, yeah, no doubt. He gave me his business card that night. I went on the website, and then the week after, I just ordered and then like a bunch of prints. I must have made like oh, almost $150 order on his website, and he was like, "Yo, good looking man, I appreciate the support." And he drew me like this free. He was like, "Yo, give me a character name and I'll draw him for you." And he's just a cool dude.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I own quite a few sketches, and it's really cool knowing you have something that's like one of a kind.
Yeah, man, that was important to me too, man. Like having one of a kind art, like that's just awesome. I'd like to have a one of a kind like statue, like just commissioned,
Mhm.
purely by itself. It probably won't happen, but if I had the disposable income to, commission somebody, throw 5 Gs, 10 Gs on a sculpt, that's just me, that would be that would be sick.
Cool. Yeah, I always wanted myself to have a one of a kind, but you're talking like 50, $60,000 to have a one of a kind statue.
Yeah, man, it's no joke, and for me, it would be probably a little bit cheaper because I probably do something hand sculpted, not something that you got to pay somebody to do it digitally, and then you got to pay another 5 Gs to print it out, and then, you know what I mean? I'd probably get somebody to hand sculpt something, and Nowhere Man 77 says, "What's the average price for shipping an
Yeah, I
extra
was just
product?"
answering that actually, but yeah, I would say around $200 to $300 depending on the piece.
Yeah, for sure. That's pretty much right, and
Because
depending on the person.
yeah, I believe I did somewhere in the 2 to 240 range for my Electro. That's the bad thing. The prices have been going up on shipping.
Yeah, just make sure you're buying from the wrong person, because when somebody tells you that
Well,
shipping
that's
is
right.
$600,
Yeah, no, I ordered it. I know the cat that I get my stuff from. So.
yeah, just be careful. Yeah, man. Just and actually, when Mike was touching on that 1/6 shit, man, you know how I was bigging up the 1/6 comeback? All this, 1/6 is making the comeback. 1/6 statues, with the prototypes, Marvel, and all that shit, bro. Tell me why their license for Marvel is fucking for Europe only. Like
See,
how you leave that that
he's
huge piece of info out? Like that should have been announced
yeah,
from the jump before you seen how I'm up on the show hyping this shit up, and then I found out the other day this shit is only for Europe. I was like, wow, that sucks.
yeah. So one of the guys asked, "Who would we recommend?" Yeah, hit up Ryan because the cat that I get him from, he's not too much in the game anymore. Like he'll order me stuff because he knows me and a few other people, but he's not buying too many pieces.
Yeah, I'm gonna type a name in the chat. And you could. That's He's a reliable guy, 100%. Um, I'm not gonna say 100% actually. All I know is that he's 100% with me. That's what I'm gonna say.
See,
Cause I'm.
that's how I was trying to say it. Like, if you know the person and you have like a good connection with them, then it's easier, to trust them with that kind of money. So
Yeah.
we can only speak for how we've been dealt with.
Yeah, I only speak from my own experience because, man, I've heard some shit stories of people just running off with thousands of dollars in pre-orders. You
Mhm.
know, scumbags. But the guy put in the comments on the YouTube feed, whatever. That guy has always done right by me. And yo, Terrell, it is Eric Sosa doing the 1/6 Marvel line, but the thing is, he's teaming up, so it's gonna be Prototype Z, and then this next company that he's like merging with for this 1/6 Marvel line. But I just found out that it's not a worldwide license; it's only for like certain territories in Europe. But I mean, people talk, but what he says is that they're gonna try and talk to Sideshow or some sort of distributor, Big Bad Toy Store, whatever, and see if they could get their shit rolling on those websites. But you know, only time will tell. Hopefully that happens.
Yeah, those are the two companies that I deal with that usually, I mean, pretty much your get. I haven't ever had a problem with Big Bad Toy Store with a piece I ordered, so knock on wood.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, usually if you order it right away and don't dilly dally, you're okay with that.
And who's the one that asked about the shipping prices from Singapore?
I think it was the
Nowhere
same.
man 77
Yeah,
dude.
the same
Like,
guy.
don't try to be an early bird with the XM pieces, especially if you're living in the US, because that's when a lot of people end up burning a lot of their money. And I'm guilty of it. But I've learned my lesson. Don't, some shit that's hot comes out for pre-order. There's exceptions, yeah. Like, cable, people were hyping that shit up, went up in price. You could probably never get it at retail again. So, it was good for the people that jumped on it. But a lot of their pieces, man, you give it like 3, 4, 5 months, you'll see them on BST being sold for under retail, man. I could buy any XM statue that I want off Facebook right now for under like $900 shipped inside the US.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Whereas when they first came out, people were asking 1,300, 1,400. Wait,
Well, a perfect example would be um, what the fuck's that dude's name now? From the Inhumans.
Black Bolt.
Black Bolt, thank you. He was going for crazy money when he first came out. Now you could get him under retail.
Bro, I've seen it for 750 shipped.
Yeah, I could have bought it today for less than that,
See,
but
like
I but
that's
I
crazy.
passed because there's other pieces I want more than that one. But yeah, so you can get certain ones. Now again, like Chris said, not everything, because like you ain't gonna get Magneto cheap or Cable, but
Right.
eventually you'll get certain ones you can get a real good price on.
Yeah, I'll tell you this, man. I've been seeing a lot of prices going down, even cable, yo, and people are having a hard time selling cable for 1,500 shipped inside the U.S. Where a couple months ago, it was hard to get one for 1,700. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's what I'm waiting for with Ghost Rider. You know,
Dude,
if it comes down, I'll get it for the price I want. If not, I don't need it bad enough. But that's the whole thing with XM. Either if it's a piece like Cable that I knew I wanted badly,
yeah,
I went out and made sure I pre-ordered that. And the same thing with Electro. But if it's a P and Phoenix, those were ones I wanted for sure. But if it's ones I'm on the fence about, I waited and I usually get them for less.
man, I'm telling you, there was so many pieces that I wanted, and I was like, damn, I should pre-order it. And I'm glad I didn't because now I could get them for like
Plus,
crazy.
now, like you said, you could get them shipped inside the U.S.
Exactly. You don't got to worry about, shipping from Singapore, you know what I mean, paying as a gift
Yeah,
to somebody overseas. You don't got to worry about none of that bullshit. You know what I mean? Wait it out, have some patience. It'll all pay off in the end.
yeah, well,
Um,
that was the point I was getting at. I know who I buy from, so I could trust them to pay as a gift. But
yeah.
if you don't know them from Adam, that's a tall order to just drop a G to somebody as a gift. You don't
Mhm.
know.
Like, yo, the cable that I saw, the guy that bought it for me, He did the smart thing too, man. We lived in the same. He just waited, and he always wanted it, but he waited and waited till he found a deal. And I sold it for a deal because I got it for retail,
Mhm.
and I hooked the brother up. But and that comes from him being patient and waiting for somebody like me to drop a deal like that. But a lot of these guys, they get burnt, man, because they'll end up getting. I'm not gonna say it's hype. People just want to say, "Oh, I got the pre-order." Or they just want to have it locked down just in case. But a lot of the times, man, it's bullshit because you'll end up paying the extra three, four, $500, and then in a couple months, you know what I mean? Like it's available for $500 cheaper, and you're sitting there like, "Oh fuck! If I would have just waited a couple of months,
Yeah,
I could have bought another statue from Sideshow." Don't
that's right.
don't fall for that shit. Take your time. It's no rush to spend a G on plastic. So take your time, guys.
Wise words is all I'm talking.
Yeah.
Some of these pieces you want to pull your hair out what they cost, and then God forbid you drop that cash, and then a week later you see one for half the price, and you're like, "What did I do?"
This guy nowhere man 77 said, so it's just like marriage. Don't rush. This guy. No, it's not like marriage. Marriage,
Yeah,
you don't do that shit
yes,
at all.
yeah, marriage will
Marriage got
cost you a lot
first.
more.
You can get rid of the statues. You can never get rid of them.
Yeah.
At least not for less than half your shit.
Yeah, man.
Then you have to kill them.
Yeah. I learned the hard way, man. I learned it. I caught on to the game. I mean, it was I guess everybody has to experience it for themselves, you know what I mean? But learn from my mistakes because I did it with the second version of Captain America from XM. I pre-ordered it off of some concepts. When it first got released, I was like, "Oh shit, that's hot." Paid not a crazy premium price, but over retail. And then keep in mind the $300 shipping.
Is that the
It was like
saluting
280.
one?
Yeah, the one where he's like
Yeah.
this. And then 5, 6 months later, this shit is like $500 cheaper. You know what I mean? So just wait it out, guys.
Well, think about all the people, for instance, that paid so much for Ant-Man, because when he came out, even if you got him for cost, you're looking at about 950, and
Mhm.
you could get him for 500-600 bucks now.
You can get that shit for cheaper. I swear to God, I've seen an Ant-Man for 450 shipped inside the U.S. It's
Which one is
bananas.
the XM?
Yeah, man.
The XM one?
Hmm.
Yeah, if I
Actually, yeah.
have
Royal had it. Royal had it yesterday. They wanted 750 for it.
Nah,
And I
don't
that's
think
even.
that was
that's
sitting there for. I think that
overpriced.
was been sitting there for a while too.
I've seen it
Yeah.
on eBay cheaper than that already.
Nonya is
It's a nice piece
asking.
though. It's nice.
Oh, none. I keep calling him Nonya. None of your business. He's asking
Yeah,
if Action Hulk was
Hulkbuster.
the.
Well, I don't know, because that's a gigantic piece. I
Yeah.
wouldn't even want to think what the shipping would cost on that.
Yeah, you see, that's another thing, man. Like a lot of these dudes, they're gonna pay premium for the statue, right? Number one, it's already an expensive piece. It's
Mm,
huge, so they're gonna pay a premium for the statue to get a pre-order from some random in Singapore. Then they're gonna pay, I'm gonna say $600 for that fucking shit because that thing is huge. At least $600 in shipping. You know what I mean? Like you have the $600 shipping, and then the extra $200-300 that you paid above retail. That's $900. You know what I mean? It, it probably will, man. For that size, I don't know. I'm not gonna steer anybody the wrong way. You just got to use your own judgment, man. And from my
it was one of
experience,
those things. Like I
yeah,
wanted it, and then you see there's the sideshow on there. I got offered that at such a ridiculous price that I was like, "There's no way I'm spending the kind of money XM on if I could get that for what I got it for."
yeah, man. It's better in my experience, man. It's better to just wait and you know, don't pay
Yeah,
above
you're right,
retail for an
Terrell.
XM
Big
piece.
Bad Toy Store was selling it for like 650 shipped for a long time. It took them to sell out of Ant-Man.
Yeah, Weapon X, Poison Ivy, and Optimus is what's catching my eye.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think of those three, I think Ivy's going to be the one that goes in the long run for the most money. That's just my guess
hmm
because there's just something about it. That whole line, the samurai thing it's cool. It's not awesome, but
right.
the one that's Poison Ivy it just looks like a piece of artwork. Like you could have that even like you said, even if you weren't into that line, and it
Yeah.
would work into your collection. So if of those three, I think Ivy is going to appreciate the most. The Transformers, it's tough because I own some and they're so big and expensive that when it goes to trying to sell them, it's tough. I lucked out and got a decent amount for mine, but a lot of people lost a lot of money on them pieces. I've seen people who paid retail at 2,500 and had us sell it for like 15 or 100 or less
Yeah,
because
exactly.
it's so hard to move those gigantic pieces.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And it's it's crazy because I it sucks. I see all these people pay top dollar for all these pieces, and then a couple months later, like that would drive me nuts. It happened to me once,
Mhm.
and thank God I was able to break even from that Captain America. But a lot of people they don't their story is not that bright at the end
Well,
of the tunnel.
that's why we've been saying it. We like to tell you those stories we have
Yeah,
because if it helps one of you guys not waste your money in the long run, that's the
Yes,
key.
sir.
Learn from the mistakes of others.
yeah, man. Like a lot of people, they uh they bash on people, that flip and that only collect certain pieces that go for crazy money. And like what I have now, man, like rails, I guess if you want to call them, but I got them at decent prices where if I was to sell them, I'd make money. You know what I mean? And I'm not in it to make money, man. But if shit hits the fan and I need to, at least I know I could come back and I could fall on something. You know what I mean? And just knowing that I would be losing $500-600 on something, you know what I mean? That bothers me, you
And
know?
and that fast. That
Yeah,
was the problem. We're not talking about something depreciating over 5 or 10 years.
yeah.
We're talking about these are pieces that within less than a year
Weeks,
lost that
weeks.
much money.
Yeah.
Like that. Yep. They depreciate quicker.
Certain ones like perfect examples. I'll bring up with legendary scales. They're big, but their runs are rather low, so they usually go up in price. Like my Natiri cost me 2,000. Now you can't touch one for less than 3 or maybe 35. But that was because they were rare. They didn't make all that many. But if you're talking about anything that's gigantic that was mass produced and they're niche. You really have to have like Transformers were cool. I love Transformers. I grew up with it. Probably my favorite cartoon as a kid. But they just took up so much space in the collection that you couldn't justify it. And then when you go to turn around and sell it, well, that thought pattern is going through a lot of other collectors' minds. Like, oh, I would love it, but where am I going to put it? So I saw like even Royal Collectibles because we were talking about them. They had a Megatron which came out at 25, and they were at one point asking 1,600 for it because they could not sell the damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he ended up taking 12 for it in the long run. But that's the problem. That's what happened to a lot of people. I just lucked out when I sold mine because there was a guy who really wanted them and he offered a fair amount to where I didn't really lose much. So I jumped on the deal, but not too many people had that outcome.
Yeah, I don't know, man. And prices are just so high now, man. It's hard to even appreciate and value anymore. Like, yo, take for instance that Prime One Wonder Woman on the horse.
Yeah,
How much was that shit? Like 4 Gs?
3,600 plus shipping.
4 Gs for that fucking Wonder
Mm.
Woman on horse. Now imagine when it comes that shit hits the fan, the guy, his house gets flooded or something, he
It's
has to fix the
almost
floors.
5 feet tall.
It's almost 5 feet tall, but he needs to fund, to hire contractors to go fix his
Mhm.
floor. He has to sell that fucking Wonder Woman. He paid 4 Gs for it. Now he has to sell it for 2 Gs. You know what I mean? Like that. I got a serious problem with that.
Perfect example, exactly.
I got a serious, serious problem with that. I can't. That would bother me big time.
Because that was always my problem. Like I know Joe brought up, but their G1. I agree to a point,
Yeah.
but in the end, the Transformers are not going to be that easy to flip. Not that you're buying them to flip, but my point is, they're very small. You got to be my age to really like those.
Yeah.
Because I'm the age range that grew up with those things, and we have the connection to them. You show a kid a Transform, what the fuck is that? They don't know what the hell it is. So I like the Scar Scream. And I agree with what Saint is saying. That 1/4 scale would have been the better size for me. It would fit in more with my collection than these gigantic pieces. But if I was going to collect the Transformers, it would have had to been like that was what I collected. Not all this other stuff. I would just have a display case with straight up Transformers. And that's the thing. Like, this is the perfect example. Like, I don't know how Joa does it because this cat collects a lot of shit. I've been a friend with him for a long time, so I know stuff he has that he probably doesn't even let anyone know. But it's like, I would never have the room to display all of this stuff. That's why I'm selling so much. So,
Yeah, I was telling him the other day, man. He came to me. Um, I don't even remember who it was actually, but somebody came to me like, "Yo, they have so much on pre-order, and it's just hard to focus." You know what I mean? When you like so many things, and that's like statue collecting 101, bro. Have a focus, man, because if you don't, and you
no,
just like,
you're all over the
yeah,
place.
if you're double dipping, if you want to collect Spider-Man, Batman, Superman all at the same time, you're gonna get fucked.
That was my problem when I first got into
Yeah,
the game. I
it's.
love movie pieces,
Hmm.
comic pieces, video game pieces, and then you start saying to yourself, where the fuck am I putting all these things?
Hmm.
So now that's why this room is strictly Marvel and DC. Then upstairs I got my movie collection. I have my Disney area. I
Yeah,
have the big pieces in one room. So it's like that's what ends up happening, but not everyone has that option. Not everyone has a gigantic house
hmm,
that could say, I'm going to put things in different rooms. You may have one room that you could put stuff in. So now
yeah.
you have to be really picky about what you could put in that one room.
Yeah, man, it's better on the wallet, and it's just better for you, man. You don't gotta, and it's so much easier to pass on certain things, man. Like, if you see something, but it's not what you're trying to focus on, like, oh shit, I'm not focusing on that. I'm focusing on this. Pass. You know what I mean? It's just, uh, like I said, when I saw all those pictures from Singapore Comic Con, the pieces looked hot, but it's nothing that I'm focusing on. It wasn't in my focus. So pass, 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 pass.
Well, Mike could tell you he's one that went through it. He
Yeah.
bought a lot of stuff, decided it wasn't stuff he wanted, and then changed his focus, so he sold it, and now he's getting stuff he wants. So
Yeah.
he could tell you too, if you don't make that mistake in the beginning, which is what we're trying to reach out and tell you, then you won't have to go through the pains of selling shit just to get the stuff you really want.
And for me, it was different because, speaking of Royal, with them was like a catch-22. But the thing is, like, a lot of the stuff I got from them, I got for such great deals, and some of the stuff wasn't even cash. It was for other shit.
Mm-hmm.
So even when I got rid of the stuff at a discount to them, so they could sell it at a discount, I still always came up. You know what I mean? So getting rid of a lot of the stuff wasn't like even a flicker or a train of thought for me. But
Right.
just going through the motions of doing it is like it's taxing. So it's just better just to take your time and make sure it's pieces you want. And just keep in mind, whatever you buy, just make sure it's shit that you're gonna keep. It and then sell it and try to get rid of the shit to get new stuff. And then nobody else wants the old ones that you got because they doing this. Everybody's taking the same idea you got, and everybody, you could look on eBay or in the forums, and everybody, it's like 600 of Batman versus the toilet bowl statue. You know what I mean? It's just too much, man. And
yeah, that's what kind of burned me when I first started collecting. Perfect example, man. When I first started, I wanted to build my collection overnight. I saw everybody's pictures. I was like, yo, my shit needs to be like that right now. You know what I mean? And so what did I do? I bought a Joker statue. I bought a Batman statue. I bought a Lionel statue. I bought a Skeletor statue. I bought this. I bought that from a whole bunch of different lines. But then it kept happening. Like I kept seeing shit from all those different lines that I wanted to buy next. I'm like, yo, I can't do this. So I just had to focus. And as soon as I started doing that, man, you just become more smart with your purchases. You know what I mean? And it's better that way, man. You focus on one thing.
Well, you know what? It's true because remember, for everyone who watches the show for a long time, they know that I was a huge He-Man fan. I absolutely loved the line that was coming out, and I was ready to order it. I had He-Man ordered, pre-ordered day one. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, what am I going to do with He-Man? I'm going to start another line I have no room for. So smartly, I moved the pre-order deposit to something else, and I just never got into the line. And now the more cool pieces that are coming out that I would have had to get, I'm like, I passed that test because there would have been so many more pieces in my collection I had no room for.
Not to mention, you can't get shit for those Mattel He-Men now. Like them shits, there was at one time, a lot of them figures, especially the He-Man versus Superman, the Toys R Us exclusive. I think it was like $60 in Toys R Us. That shit went all the way up to $150 to even $200 for Superman and He-Man, and then the Skeletor versus Lex Luthor. And it's just expensive. Now you'd be lucky, you look online, like $30-$40, if that.
Yeah.
Nobody, it's just like the toy game is crazy. It's like if you're gonna buy something, make sure you're gonna buy it because it's a trend. Don't buy shit that's a trend. Buy it because it's something you want.
That's it.
Keep or pass on to your child or something. Other than that,
because there's so many pieces, and we're all guilty of it. We'll see a piece and be, oh my God, it's awesome, I gotta get it. But then sometimes we'll sit back and say, you know what? I don't really need it. And then a little while, you're like, thank God I didn't order that piece.
That's another thing I do a lot too, man. I think a lot before I pull the trigger on anything now. And like I said, I watch a lot of fucking reviews, especially if it's an older piece. I watch a shit ton of reviews for the whole entire week before I go to sleep, and I'll sleep on it. I wake up the next morning and I still want it. I'll go watch the review that same night, and I'll sleep on it. And if at the end of the week I'm like, yo, I want that shit, I buy it. You know what I mean? But a lot of times, man, in the heat of the moment, I'm like, oh shit, I want to buy that. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I don't need this right now. Let me just chill, see if I see more pictures, if there's any videos being released, and I'll make my mind up, And a lot of times, man, at the end of the week, I'm like, I don't need this shit. You know?
Yeah, man. That's how the video games. The video games what got me into watching YouTube as far as looking at reviews on shit that I decided the same thing Chris is saying. I have to agree with that because the video game, like you go out there and you go to the video game store or you look on the damn commercials. Oh, it's the great game. You go home, you feel like killing yourself because you're like, damn, I just wasted $65.
Oh, dude, especially if you beat that shit in one sitting.
Yep.
And you're like, what the fuck? I paid $60. I was entertained for 3 hours.
Then you take about GameStop 2 or 3 days later. They talking about fucking $28.
Yeah, we'll give you $20 for it.
Sons of bitches. Then they turn around and sell it for fucking $55 again. They fucking crooks. I tell you, man.
Grifter81 just asked if I still ordered that prototype Sakuma. I didn't. Just looking at it every night, sleeping on it. I'm still making up my mind. And you know why I'm not in a rush too? Because the edition size is open. That shit's not going anywhere anytime soon, bro. Once they release the edition size and they have a set number, I'll think about it some more. But right now, bro, I took that shit off of my plate once I found out it was open. It's no rush.
Yeah, I hear you. I went and yeah, you ain't kidding. $60 doesn't seem like shit once you get into statue collecting. But the problem is when you're doing both. But that's what kills you too. It's like we have other things we're into, so it's not just statues. You want to play that game when it comes out. You want to go to the movies and see that flick. Actually, I want to see it because that's getting a lot of good reviews. But it's just what?
That movie's gonna be beautiful, man. They all float down here, man. They all float.
I wish the statues floated, but but yeah, I mean, it's gotten great reviews. I'll probably see it tomorrow or something. But you got other shit you got to do. You got family responsibilities. Things happen. So you got to think smart.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we're saying. If you find something you absolutely love, go for it. But I just say be careful when you get sucked into the pieces that everybody is what I call hyping up. And you're like, I don't want to miss out. Everyone's saying this is going to be the next best thing. And then you get it and you're like, there's nothing special about it. And honestly,
what you can always do is you can.
I don't care what flack people might try to put out there, but the same shit's gonna happen with Thanos. Everyone thinks because he sold out so quick that it's a lock for being this Grail or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people that bought into the hype that are just not going to care about it after a while. So there will be a lot of people who do love it because there are people that legitimately, like myself, I didn't get the EX and whatever. It doesn't matter. I just wanted the statue in general. It's not like I'm going to sell it anyway. So, I knew I wanted it because it fits with my collection line. I love throne pieces, as you can see from up top. So it works. But there's a lot of people that got caught up in it because of the hype, because it sold out so quick. And I believe, see here already, we're getting the Thanos as a Grail. It's not even out yet, but it's considered a Grail. That's a joke. But, we'll see when it actually comes out. But, that's the whole thing. And I think that's where people are getting caught up with it because so many people want to see something beat Doom, something beat Magneto, and nothing's ever come close. So they keep trying to hype up the next big thing. Like Ghost Rider was going to be the next big thing. It was going to beat everything. Guess what? No, it didn't. So these you got to understand, like Doom, 750 pieces, I believe. So there's a big difference, even if it's 1,000. I'm not 100% sure on it, but these pieces earned the name Grail by being on top for a long time and going for that kind of money. We'll see if the other things hit it. It's EX or fail my ass. You want the chiclet teeth? That's your opinion. Those chiclet teeth don't do shit for me with that exclusive portrait. So the that's what it is for me. If I want about a different head, I'll buy an exclusive that somebody makes. But that's what it joins into, and this is what I love about statue collecting in a way, but also hate in a way, because we can't agree to disagree. You know, with collecting, it seems that, you know, you put out your opinion and immediately you're attacked because you don't agree with what the mass agrees with. So, you know, that's what it boils down to. You know, that the point of collecting is that we all have different tastes. So that's the thing. But I agree 100% with you're buying into your own hype saying something's a grail. But that is what it boils down to. A grail has to earn that reputation. And there are a few pieces that have earned it. I think a lot get the name without earning it. But when you've been in this game a long time, you'll know. So, you know, that's what it boils down to, at least in my opinion.
It's interesting. Lewis M said, I collect similarly to Fate. Yo, what up, Fate? By the way, he's in here. I'm
nice.
glad everything's good with you, Fate.
Yeah, exactly.
Glad everything's straight. But he says, I collect similarly to Fate. So to me, all my pieces are grails to me. I never bought a piece I would sell. I respect it.
Exactly. That's how you should. To be honest, that's how you should collect. Because
for me, it's the same way. But I bought pieces to sell, so I could buy to afford other pieces that I wouldn't sell. You know what I mean? That's just how it is sometimes, man. It's really the only way that I've survived in this hobby, because honestly, some pieces aftermarket prices, they're just nuts, you know. And like statue collecting is saying, it's self-hype, you know. And a lot of those pieces that I have, man, I wouldn't have been able to buy them if it wasn't for me buying other pieces that I bought strictly to sell, you know. But it is what it is, man. Everybody collects differently. Everybody can afford, you know, different things, you know.
I just want to know if someone want to adopt a child. I'm in dire need of some statues. So statues they like to donate, broken or glued. I'll take them. You got them in boxes. If you got stuff in boxes and you want to donate them to breathe and be amongst other statues not in boxes, Chris.
Yo.
You know.
Man, I look at these boxes every fucking night, man, and I always daydream, man, about just, yo, I can't fucking wait. And you know what, man? I go to sleep happy every night, yo. I'm telling you. I go to sleep happy every night just thinking that same shit.
You know what? That's the important thing. You hit it right, the nail right on the head. As long as you collect and can go to sleep happy with yourself, that's the name of the game.
Yeah, man, it's rough. Don't get me wrong. Like during the day, man, I'm like, fuck, my shit's are in boxes at home. But when I come home, man, and I'm looking at these boxes, I just think to myself, you're going to have your day. You know what I mean? And that's just what keeps me in the hobby, man. That's what keeps me. And I can't wait.
Yeah, but you know what you could do, too, because I know that irritating smell of cardboard bothers you, too. You can always
keep them in one of your storage units. You're going to keep them warm for me?
I don't do that shit. No, I don't do no store. I don't put nothing in storage units no more, man. I can't afford no more soaking
Oh,
wet,
that's right. That's
floating
right.
shit.
Yeah,
No,
could you imagine?
I think you'd be more. Bring them over here, man. I'll be good. I'll give them back to you. Bullshit. Man, my throat.
What's up, Omar?
What's going on, guys? So you probably already went over this,
Yo,
but what's
What up?
your thoughts on STGCC?
Yeah, we were saying there was a lot of cool stuff that came out. I believe we did our top three. And
What was yours?
for me, it was Doctor Octopus. Uh, Spider Gwen, and then either Magdalena would probably be my third. But I also said that I like a lot the Poison Ivy Geisha if I was into that line.
Yeah, I think the Poison Ivy was like my favorite.
Yeah, that's a beautiful piece, man. What's your top three, Omar?
Just the Poison Ivy. Everything else I didn't like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
Did
thought I don't
you
know.
you weren't there, right?
No, I was in
Oh,
Japan.
okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like all the other stuff were kind of a little too. Okay, like what throws me off is like why are they modernizing like some things and they're not modernizing the rest. Like if you look at like the Doctor Octopus,
I
like
know. Just preach it right now. Just go. Do
like
it.
why is it like that when everything else is so
Classic.
like classic,
Yes.
especially like the Scorpion. The
Yes.
Scorpion doesn't even look like it belongs with the others. I don't know. It just
Yeah. I
feels
mean,
like
there's
they
like
just
different
The
switch outs for that
Scorpion, yeah, the
Scorpion.
Scorpion's very modern, I thought.
Yeah, but there's like different. There's classic switch outs. Like aside from the head,
Mm.
like there's a classic tail and then armored tail. You know
Mm.
what I mean? Like it could be a full classic statue or it could be a
Okay.
modern.
no.
Yeah.
It's not a full classic statue. You can't
Oh no?
switch the legs. It's only like the
Oh
arm
okay.
and the thing. It's like it's still. I don't know, man. Like for some reason, it always feels like
Mhm.
XM. Like for some reason, uh, like I always feel like they just try to throw things to the wall and see what sticks. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it doesn't feel like they have.
Did
Did
he
Omar
When you
cut
look
off?
at Sideshow's Spider-Man line,
Hmm.
everything else, like whether you like the Venom or you like the Carnage or not, you can't deny that everything just works together. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? People hate the Black Cat, but when you put it next to the others, it fits in perfect. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And that's I think like Sideshow had like have like a clear vision of what they are going to make
Right.
before they make it. While XM is just like, oh, like that Sandman work sold pretty well. Electro like did amazing,
Hmm.
and so they just try to like, oh, okay, let's do like Scorpion now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just I don't know. To me, it doesn't seem like they're fully thought out. But I will tell you this: Electro came out fantastic. Like out of the whole Sinister Six line, like that is the one to get in my opinion. It's just amazing. Like they did a. I didn't think it would be anything like this. Yeah, it's a really nice piece. Whoever has that, like, congratulations.
Yeah, that Electro is badass, man. But I agree with that whole thing about Doc Ock. I was so pissed, man. Like I saw the first, printed version that they released, whatever, how long it was, a month, not a month, a year, whatever, how long it was, where he's like standing on his tentacles.
Yeah,
I knew that was never gonna work out.
Bro, I that was like a guaranteed pre-order when I seen that shit. And
yeah.
bro, they changed it. He has, this fucking raincoat on, bro. I was so I didn't even have any words, bro. I just looked and shook my head. I was just like, wow.
I don't know.
Hey, I have the one with the tentacles if you ever want it. But, you know, it's tough because you got to think about it over the long run. And I
Yeah.
think not going with the tentacles was the smarter idea. If they weren't going to do the research and get it done properly by, you know, an architect or something that knows how to design it properly, it was just a nightmare waiting to happen.
Also, like, what wall is that is so small? Like, I don't know if you saw like the renders. Like, if you want to show them, Lou, like the wall is so small compared to like actually like the actual Doctor Octopus. Like the corner, I don't know. It feels like it's a little like out of scale compared to the rest of the figure.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Like, yo, you look at that entire line, like Vulture's right out the comics, Electro right out the comics, Venom literally right out the comics. Um, fuck. I mean, all their other pieces, yo, right out the comics, and then the Doctor Octopus is right out the comics too, man. But dude, that's not like the definitive Doc Ock costume, in my opinion,
It's
bro.
not
Like
from the
all the
same
others.
comics.
What's up?
It's not from the same comic.
All right, so here we go. Hold
Yeah,
on.
it's
Let me
man.
screen share it.
And maybe I'm just talking shit because
So
bro, I've read,
he
I can
has
count my two hands.
two different renders of it. I just really like the idea of the coins falling out of the bag.
Yeah,
Oh
That
yeah, that's
looks
definitely a nice touch. Yeah, I agree. That's a nice
the
touch.
I think they did a decent job on the tentacles without going too crazy. And I mean, I'm okay with the modern look of it, but everyone, like we said, we all have different tastes, and you know that's what's awesome about collecting.
I
So,
don't think it's bad. I honestly definitely don't think it's bad. I just think it doesn't work with the rest of the line. That's all. But you're not collecting the whole line, so I don't think you would care. You know what I mean?
yeah,
yeah,
that's
no,
true. That's a good point.
I'm not getting them all.
Yeah.
But
So
this, oh, of course, that's a tiny. Yes,
Dude, this thing was, yes, that thing is perfect to me, bro. It pains me that that shit didn't come to life, man. Really.
you know what it is? I think like because I own the piece, not this one, obviously, because XM
You
didn't
talking
make
about
it.
the legs not being stable?
I own the salt and pepper one.
Hmm.
And when you look at this, it's almost the exact same idea. And the salt, it's going to suffer from the same problem.
You know what? I really I don't agree with that, and I'm gonna tell you why. Salt and pepper. You comparing apples and oranges. You talking about a well-established company. I'm not saying that they're huge, but well-established and well-engineered enough to know how to engineer a statue where it won't lean. Bro, their Ghost Rider and their Punisher bikes were made out of metal, bro. You can't tell me that they wouldn't have made Doc Ock with those metal arms. That shit would have been there forever.
Well, see, my opinion and what should have been done with the original, and
Mhm.
it's the reason that I still have it. But if I have told people if they're interested, hit me up because I might sell it for the right price
Yeah,
just because, you know, I have other things I could get with it.
yeah.
I always wanted somebody to make the bottom legs out of metal
Word.
because then you would never have to worry about it. And then you just paint the top two ones to look like metal
Right,
because
right.
the top ones would be way too heavy if they were metal.
Yeah.
But the bottom ones need it to support that shit. Or at the very least, you should have took a big thick piece of rebar, something that was really thick and wasn't going to break, and
Yeah.
put that in the middle of the leg and then
Mhm.
wrap around it with the resin so that you never had to worry about that thing breaking.
Yeah, I hear you, bro. It's a
But
shame, man.
the one that I own is absolutely gorgeous. They didn't spare any attention to detail on it. The only problem is that most of us that own it have it in storage because we don't want it to break.
Yeah.
Because I believe there's only between 3 and 5 still in existence. And I know one other guy besides me that has one. So it's one of those things you really have to be careful with. When you look at it, it's gigantic. It looks amazing. When you look at it, you're like, oh my God, like you said, this is Doc Ock. But then you're like, oh my God, I'm afraid to put it on display because of what's happened to the other one. You know, I had it on display for a few months, and then I just worried about it too much, so I got put that away.
Yeah, bro.
Okay, what are your thoughts on the Hulkbuster? Honestly, guys, what do you guys think of that Hulkbuster?
I like it, but I think it's way too big.
Yeah, my opinion's biased because I'm not a fan of that suit. You know what I mean? But I don't
No,
like it at all.
I'm talking about that piece itself. Like, what do you think of that piece?
I don't like it. It's too busy, man. Like,
I agree.
I don't know.
I think the detail is way too much. Like,
yeah.
and you know what really cheeses me? Okay, like, look, this is a message for all companies. Okay, a good product, you have to know when to, like, too much of something is not good. So let me give you an example. Just because you add an extra head, if you know that head is something that nobody will ever display, it is not a good head. It is not a good switch out, and you should not include it.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because it takes away from the authenticity of your piece. Like, let me give you an example. That Mexican Wolverine head on the XM Wolverine, do you know what I'm talking about? The one where he's like, he looks like a Mexican. He's just going like that. Okay, like that one. What are they doing including that? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no reason to do that. You know nobody's gonna display it, and all it shows is that, like, you don't know exactly what you don't have an image of what you want to make, right? You're just trying to you're just trying to come up with anything and just trying to sell it to the customer. Do you know what I mean? Especially in a hobby like this where art really matters. It's not something that's just like, it's not like an iPhone or a Samsung where you can just like cram features. Sorry. It's not like you can just cram features in there and just say like, here, take it. You know what I mean? That stuff like that is just like, so getting to my point, when you get to the what's it called, the Hulkbuster, okay, I don't know if it's just me, but do you guys see how awkward the Iron Man is?
Yes.
Okay, like, that is not an option. Why are you doing that? Do you know what I mean? Either have it closed or have his torso appearing out. You don't need to put the Iron Man on display because why? Number one, that base is gonna take up space. The full Iron Man body is gonna take up space in the box. So nobody's gonna display it. Okay, that means people are gonna pay shipping for it. People are gonna pay for the materials to make it, and nobody will ever display it. That is not a good product. You need to think it through, right? You're trying to make the product as affordable as possible. You making that Iron Man and adding a profit margin onto that is not a good way to deal with the customer because it is a useless feature because nobody will display that Iron Man. Like, people are liking it right now, but I guarantee you, it's just because like Rat Titan is hyping it up. But if they like, I'm telling you, if someone honest actually went in there and said the honest truth, they will tell you that Iron Man is awkward. It doesn't look like it's supposed to be there. Like, he's literally standing like this. Like, what is he doing? You know what I mean? So nobody's gonna display that, and people are gonna end up paying for the base. They're gonna end up paying for the whole body, and they're gonna pay the shipping on top of that. That's a big quarter scale base, big quarter scale Iron Man. That's what you're gonna pay for. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it's useless. Just because you want.
I agree with you 100%. The big problem, I think, is instead of going out and trying to justify the price by adding extras that no one's going to use, put less in, and charge less money. I think
Exactly.
you have a lot more happy customers.
Exactly. Just you put a $2,500 price tag, and you're charging people for like three features that nobody is gonna use. Do you know what I mean? Like nobody will ever display the Iron Man out of there. It's either gonna be creeping out of the Hulkbuster, or it's gonna be what's it called? The Hulkbuster's closed.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's crazy, man. Like I'm telling you, it like the Batman, man. They made like 5 heads, 50. Like who is gonna display all those? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Just so you know, Omar, you're sideways in your video.
oh, I am. Oops.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Oh, it
But
don't
yeah,
matter to me. I didn't know if you did it on purpose or what. I just
but
thought
no.
you know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. A lot of people say, um, like, oh, you're just you're a hype man for the grills. You know what I mean? The old sideshow pieces, and people always like, oh, those guys always get so they're talking shit. And I feel like the reason I like those old pieces, man, is just because they were simple, man. You get a fucking body, you get a simple base. That's it, and that's
I
you know what I
there's a
mean?
lot of OGs.
Yes, perfect example. I think Omar brought this up in the past too. Look at Magneto. It's a nice piece, but there's so much going on in that friggin' statue that your eye is not drawn to Magneto. And that's my problem with statues that are too busy.
You
I
talking about
want
that
to,
white Magneto from XM?
yeah, the one where he's got all the parts floating all over the
Hmm.
place. It's like when I look at a statue, if I want to see Jean Grey, I want to see Jean Grey. If I want to see Rogue, I want to see Rogue. I don't care about what's going on the base. I don't care about what's going on behind them. I want to enjoy the character. And if there's too much busy shit going on, like we were saying, my eye is drawn to what's going on and not the character.
Yeah.
Like look at this Spider-Man, okay? Look at the comic cat. Okay, you look at this, dude. This pose is more dynamic than anything I've ever seen before. Like,
Mhm.
tell me, do you guys remember when Sideshow revealed this like 2 years ago? Like, remember when they showed the picture? Everyone went crazy. Like, how are they gonna do that? It's gonna have
Yeah.
bleeding problems.
Hmm.
Because why? Because, dude, like they nailed it. Like, dude, this is so dynamic. Like, did we ever think we would ever see a Spider-Man leaping on one hand in
Not
statue
only
form?
is it so dynamic, but your eye is drawn to him. You're not yeah, the crane's there and whatever.
Yeah,
But that's an afterthought. When you look at the piece, you see Spider-Man. Oh, look, he's got this cool web coming out of his hand. That's what you see. If you had pumpkin bombs flying all over the place and all this shit going on, your eye wouldn't know what to look at.
if you see like the new XM Spider-Man, dude, that's like a tower statue with like a big base, and then
Mhm.
Spider-Man swinging on the side, and it doesn't even look like he's swinging all that much. To be honest, like it doesn't even know, like it's just like the like I'm telling you, man, I'm not a hype beast for the grails. Like I'm telling you, there's a lot of grails I don't like. I'll tell you, like OG Thor, I don't like it. No, don't I know people are gonna blast me for this, but I don't like that OG Thor. I like the newer Thor to be honest more. Um, I'll tell you that the OG Iron Man comic cat, not the flag one, like the one punching the ground. I think that one's
Mhm.
garbage. Uh, like there's a lot of pieces that I don't like, but when Sideshow nailed it, like with the OGs, like they really nailed it in my opinion. Like eh, you can't pull off a better Gambit than what they did. You can't pull off a better Venom or a Carnage or like whatever they were doing. Like those pieces, like I'm telling you, they simplify the character so that if you are collecting these characters, it's easy to collect. It's easy. It's not a Venom that's gonna take the whole Vesta
That's
and,
right.
and creep out of there. You know what I mean? Like even the new Venom, it's so big, but it still fits in the best. It'll probably fit beside the Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
That's my problem that I had with Bane. He's awesome, but it's just so big. And I'm like, why can't we just make pieces that fit so that, like, if you bought a Bowen, let's take, for instance, Bowen. All his stuff was 1/6 scale. Now, you can easily fit his statues together in a display case. He didn't have some that were so huge you couldn't fit in the case next to something else. And there are collectors, not all of us, because again, and I keep preaching this because I want people to understand, these are just our opinions. Don't get butthurt because our opinion might be different than yours. We're not saying we're the gods, we're the end all be all of collecting. No way. We're saying in our opinion. So, like Chris, he likes his stuff to be museum pose-ish and all fit together in a collection. And I'm kind of with him on that. I like stuff to be a similar size, look good together with the next piece in the case. Now, that's how we might like to collect. Others might not like to collect that. So that's why we get a little aggravated if a piece is gigantic. But others might not bother them because maybe they display them outside of a case. It all comes down to how you display them.
If you look at like think about like actual convenience when it comes to like these statues, okay? When I bought the XM Batman, okay? Don't get me wrong, it's a really nice piece, okay? It's around the same size as that Superman. Okay, now that Superman box is like this big, okay? It's like maybe the size of, I don't know, do you guys know like Gambit PF? The Gambit PF, Venom Comic Cat PF, Venom Comic Cat. It's like that kind of box. It's small.
Yeah, they're nice boxes.
Shit.
You know how big the Batman box is? A coffin. I'm not even joking. I can sit inside and sleep. Okay? That is how big that box is. That is too much. You know what I mean? Like that takes up so much space box wise, shipping. Like if you bought that Batman, okay, and you paid like $500 shipping, if you were to go and sell it, whatever, like you had a hurricane, you need to move your pieces, you need to sell that thing, that's like $150 shipping right there. You know what I mean? Like that is like too much for a character that you don't need all those pieces. If you nail it with Green Goblin has no switch outs. Okay, zero.
But they nailed it. You don't need switch outs.
And they nailed it. It's perfect. Like you don't need any switch outs. If you nail one, that's all you need.
See, that's why I like all the OGs, man. Like one character, one piece, and a base. That's it. You don't got to worry about switching pieces out. You don't got to spend 30 minutes trying to assemble that shit. You take it out the box, put it on the base, boom.
You know, extra head, extra arm is okay, as long as it's well thought out.
Right.
I really can't stand the just okay here. Let's throw this and try to sell something to people. Try to sell them with quantity instead of quality. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You look at Gambit, both heads. You cannot deny that they're both very displayable. Like Loot, they say they didn't include the cigarette head. Okay. Wouldn't you be just fine displaying it with the long hair?
Yeah, of course.
Because it's so well done. You know what I mean? That head is fine. Same with his arm. Same with Spider-Man. If you display it without the head, like without the exclusive head, it's fine. You know what I mean? But again, it doesn't take up space in the box. It doesn't hurt like the easy collectability of it. You know what I mean? Like when these boxes are getting so big, it becomes so much harder to store, so much harder to display. It's like really, really daunting. This big piece, this whole thing right here, it's like twice the size of Doctor Doom, and this thing is like, and the box is like half the size of the Batman box. You know what I mean?
Oh my God!
Crazy.
Yeah, that Batman box is a nightmare.
The XM
Oh,
Batman.
and what about, you've seen it because you had it, Omar, but what about Wonder Woman's box? That freaking
Yeah,
thing is so big.
that's because I'm telling you, that's because it comes in so many pieces. The simpler you go, and the more like that, it shows really well thought out. Really well thought out. Dude, you know what piece really blows my mind that I can't believe doesn't get the hype that it does? Have you ever seen the Yoda versus Clone Trooper
It's like
piece?
when the clone trooper is like
Yeah, he's got the lightsaber through his
Yeah,
chest.
it's like he's
he's
about to drop on his knees, and
yeah.
Yoda's like stabbing him. Dude, that piece, the box is smaller than the Venom comic kit, and it's more dynamic than anything I've seen from XM. Like that piece, it captures movement so well. Like it
Yeah.
literally looks like the trooper is about to fall over and collapse. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? That is a really well thought out piece, in my opinion. Like it's ridiculous how underrated that statue is, man. It's crazy. Like that thing is like I'm telling you, like go look up any reviews, go look up reviews on the forums. Everyone will tell you like that is such an underrated statue because it's incredibly well painted,
This is what you talking
and
about?
Yeah, that's the
that's exactly
one.
what I'm talking about. Yep.
That's yeah, it looks sick.
Look at Yoda's face. It's perfect.
Yeah. He has that crazy look in his eyes, man. It's sick.
And you envision that scene in the movie when you look at the statue.
He literally looks like he's gonna talk. That's four pieces right there. It's
Yeah.
just Yoda, the lightsaber, and the guy and the base. It's crazy.
Yo, guys, I'm gonna call it a night, man. It was good talking to you guys. I'm glad everybody's safe, yo. Enjoy the rest
All
of the
right,
night, all right?
cool. Yeah, I'm ending it by 12
Yeah.
o'clock. So,
Later, guys.
all right, good
Yeah.
night.
Good night.
Peace.
Peace.
But yeah, I agree 100%. You take, for instance, another perfect example, She-Hulk. The exclusive
Perfect.
cool, but all it is this one hand with a meter on it, so it doesn't take up that much space. But when
Yep.
you're giving 10 switch outs, and then somebody's got to pay to ship that shit.
Yeah.
That's where it starts
It's a
becoming.
huge trade-off, dude. The Punisher comic cat, man. I know the design is not for everybody, but if you look at the simplicity of it, but and the sculpt, do you know what I mean? And no switch outs, it's perfect. The way it is perfect, and that's exactly like even your Iron Man. Like in my opinion, like for example, Iron Man shouldn't even have like a maskless face because nobody will ever display it. But even your Iron
And
Man,
that's the killer, too, with that piece as well. Now, when they made the Iron Patriot, at least they thought about it and they're like, yeah, let's give them this little stand that you
yeah,
can put the other head on.
yeah,
But with this one, for someone, they didn't bother. And I'm like, why would you not give Iron Man a stand for his head, but you give a stand for Iron Patriot? It was so weird. I didn't understand the thought patterns. And then you give us this nameplate.
yeah,
Do we not know that's the Mark 42? That we need this nameplate?
yeah.
That was another thing.
Like
If all your statues came with them, fine. Then it makes sense. But he's the only piece that came with a nameplate. And
yep.
I'm like,
You know your Black Widow. You know the
yeah.
box. It probably would have been half the size if they only put the knife and the big gun in it, or like a small gun. You
Oh,
know what I
and
mean?
let's be honest. Does anybody really put the other head on it?
Does anyone put any of the other stuff on it? Like they put how many guns in there? Like
Yeah,
8
I have
guns.
them all in storage. The
Who's gonna
head,
display?
the bust is in the back because at least they gave you
Yeah,
a stand for it. But you didn't need all of that. If you just gave us the girl with the one gun,
yeah,
maybe the EX could have been the knife and one
yeah,
other gun hand. It's perfect piece. It's beautiful. We didn't need all that extra shit.
yeah. Ask Lou him right now. Like, what are they doing? Like, what are all those pistols doing? What are all those like? small guns doing like that they gave you extra?
I have them wrapped up in a box, and I don't leave them outside in the heat because that shit'll ruin them eventually. So I have to get a shoe box. I have a lot of shoe boxes, and they're all bubble wrapped inside. You know, all the extra pieces. So that's what I have to make more space putting these shits all over the house because of all these extra parts I'm never going to use. Same thing with all of them. I mean, Magneto, the way I got him displayed is the only way I'd ever display it. Who else? The Phoenix. I don't think she had too many extra parts. I don't think she had any, actually. Oh, she had 2 extra heads.
Yeah, she did, yeah.
But, I mean, did you need 3 gigantic heads with it?
And none of them, and not, like, to be honest, there's only like one that was like really solid, to be honest. Like,
and the one that I put on it is the only one I like. So it's like,
you know what I mean? It's, I don't know.
What I think they should do, honestly, and I know some people will be totally against this, but think about it from one point of view. If you made a piece and you made add-ons you could buy, and I'm not talking about you got to spend a lot of money for them. I'm talking about $25, $50 for an extra piece. I think it would be better to give somebody if you like a different head and they're offering it $50, go for it. If that made the statue, instead of say $950 with shipping, made it cost $700 shipped, you wouldn't mind paying $50 for an extra head.
Yep. If they gave you, like, imagine that Black Widow is like $700. If they got rid of all the guns and they told you $500, I would have bought it for $500. That's what I'm saying. Like, that is because the core of the Black Widow is fine with just like a gun and a gun and a knife.
And you know that's how you're going to display it, with that awesome huge gun.
Yep.
And I like the knife because I didn't want 2 guns in each of her hand. It was redundant.
Yep. I'm telling you,
I would never use any of the other guns that came with it.
People who tell me, oh, it comes with like 10 switch outs as like an advantage, like I think that's a bunch of baloney. Like,
think about Cable.
Yeah.
Cable weighs so much because of those gigantic extra arms.
There's only one way you're gonna display it.
Well, that's my opinion too.
Like 80% of people are gonna display it like that, and the other 20 will likely get over the fact that you can only display it like this, and they'll be fine with it because it's not a bad look. Do you know what I mean?
So now I have this box that's got 2 gigantic arms that I'm never going to use.
Joa said, surprised you don't like XM Batman. I do like it. No, I said it's a beautiful piece. It's just, there's no art direction there. It's just, it doesn't feel like an art piece. It just feels like XM is just trying to come up with something.
Oh, you know what, Omar? Here's another perfect example. The Sideshow Silver Surfer. Almost everybody that owns it displays it with the hand with the trails on it, the cosmic trails. So what did we need 4 other hands?
And like 3 heads and like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, to some people, having switch outs is cool, but they would be cool if you actually were going to use them. But if 90% of the people, when you get an exclusive, keep the regular part on there, it's pointless.
I think 1 extra head is fine because it gives you some variety, as long as the extra head is good. If it's a useless extra head, makes zero sense.
Like Spider-Man winking. I'm like, I didn't need Spider-Man winking.
Yeah. I would have been fine with that exclusive if it was just the web hand.
Yeah, the web coming out would have been the perfect exclusive.
Yeah. Two people asked about what I think of the Morgan. I think Morgan is really nice.
Mhm.
As long as it doesn't have, as long as again like it's not like 50 switch outs, because I'm telling you like companies, like this is what Sideshow does so well is that they don't they ignore literally everybody that's like preaching and screaming at them. They're like, dude, we need this, and Sideshow's like, nope, you need this, and that's what they
This
do so
is what
well.
you're getting. Like,
They have a very Apple approach where it's like people can say everything, but then they're like, "This is the most reliable thing. This is the most reliable collectible. Take it." You know what I mean? Apple does the same thing. This is the most reliable phone on the market. There's people out there that have more features. This is exactly like Apple if you think about it, because like iPhone is simple. There's no like killer. There's no like 50 features. You know how like Samsung crams everything in there. They don't have that. Like here, you need simplicity. This is what you need, and then Samsung caters to more of like, let me cram everything in there. Hopefully, you like something. You know what I mean? And
yeah, see, like perfect example. A couple of guys are saying, uh, yeah, Bane. I'm not a fan of Bane. Bane's extra head. That Dio Davos Veritos paint doesn't do nothing for me. Uh, the other guy says Killer Croc. The crocodile switch out head is trash. Yeah, yeah,
like look, there's a difference. Okay, when they do the exclusive head is an extra head. Uh, you can tell that's like a cash grab. Okay, like for example, like Spider-Man, all of them should have had the web hand. You know what I mean? Like, but they wanted more. They want to sell more, so you can kind of get that's like a business perspective. It's not like a more. It's not design perspective. But when you're designing a statue that has like four chest plates, five heads, like seven arms, there's no design anymore. You know what I mean? Like there's no artistic take behind it. Like what did the sculptor of the statue have in mind? It doesn't exist anymore. It's just you decide what you want, and that kind of loses the authenticity of like the feel of the statues, in my opinion. Like that's that like like this. If you look at Spider-Man comic, like dude, that thing's just it's like it's it's perfect. Like it has so much detail, so much like the Spider-Man is just like that's all you need. You know what I mean? You don't need switch out battle damage head. You don't need you know what I mean? I don't know.
I agree.
Yeah, like
I think if you actually, and then we're going to end with this. This is
sure.
getting late, but I think that if you really went and said to the collectors, "Here's a survey. Just answer this one question. Would you rather pay less or have more switch outs?" I guarantee pay less is going to win out.
Yep. Yep. I definitely agree.
So, guys, I hope everyone enjoyed the show. Uh, Hopefully, your opinions were heard. A lot of guys are in the chat room, they give theirs. So, that's one way you could join in to the show. We try to answer everyone's questions. And also, feel free if you want to be a part of it, just let me know and I'll send you an invite. So, guys, we'll see you next week and hope everyone's doing well. Peace.